Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fifth day of the World Judo Championships 2018. Untitled Dünya Şampiyonası eşitliği sağlıyor. We will start on tatami 3, the first round for men on 90 kg, including for men Russia, Baku, and in white for Baku, on tatami 2, the first round. For men under 90 kg, in blue for the United States of America, Colton Brown, and in white for Finland.
Well, good morning and welcome to the 2018 World Judo Championships in Baku, Azerbaijan. This is Gene Shin, and I'm here this morning with Loretta Cusack-Doyle.
Loretta Cusack-Doyle, yes, and yes, this is the fifth day of tournaments, and looking for some more exciting judo to come. We will be covering tatami 1, which will be the weight category under 90 kilos, pool C and D, and they're looking at that lineup. There's going to be some very interesting matches coming up very shortly, and on the other mats we will also be covering with Mr. Sheldon Franco-Rooks on tatami 3, and on tatami 2 will be Neil Adams, and he'll be with Esther Stam on tatami 2. So we're just kicking off now with the first round of the under 90 kilos. Hazem of Egypt and Vantiend of the Netherlands in blue. Now the Netherlands had a bit of a shock yesterday when the number 2 seed went out. It's hopefully there'll be a better start here today in this under 90s.
Right. So 90 kilos, really getting up into the upper weight classes now.
Well, we're coming in with the big boys now, aren't we, really? So there's going to be some very powerful judo on display here today.
First Shido for both players.
Well, as we always expect, it's the sort of
a little hard getting started.
Yeah, it's like
very
a
first
bit of
match.
a warm-up, isn't it, for them, and to try and sort of familiarise themselves. It's all right warming up at the back of house in preparation for this competition, but it never feels like the same. It's psychological warm-up, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Getting onto the tatami, getting that first contest out of the way. It psychologically lets you feel how your day is going to go.
Of course, today's going to be short for one of these gentlemen.
I know, and that's the sad thing about with it being a straight knockout right up into the quarterfinals. Really, it's open for anybody to get on that podium. Come quarterfinals, you've got a chance of being there in the placings and also a medal. Well, 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in this contest. It has been a bit of a battle of the kumikata. Vantien obviously went for the grip, but accidentally caught his opponent on the chin there.
When both people are pushing and your hand can get redirected really easily, it's totally inadvertent.
Hazem trying to reach over. His opponent's a lot taller than him, so he's going to find that quite difficult to get that leverage over the top of Vantiend. And as we can see, there's a good sort of blocking action there, and once more
picking up the second Shido.
So second Shido, which again changes the dynamics of this contest. A little bit more pressure on Vantiend, but he seems to have a lot more control in the pace of this contest. He's demanding the how this is going to go, but he's put himself under a bit more unneeded pressure here, because now he cannot afford to make any silly errors, and he has to now start engaging a little bit more.
Yeah, he's got to really drive, otherwise he'll get called again. And so even though he's pushing, Hazem is really answering his attacks, so still pretty, in terms of just overall dynamic, I think it's still fairly even. Neither player has had a really concerted or well-defined attack yet.
Well, he's looking a little bit poor there, isn't he, as he goes down into Niwaza. Azim will pick up a Shido for that. He was looking very negative indeed, but the referee also telling the coach, who is overexcitable at the end there, just to calm it down a little bit. And you feel for the referees, because it's really out of their control, but it doesn't stop them from being over emotional.
The coaches, you mean?
Yes, the coaches. Yeah.
The referees don't get emotional.
Yes.
Oh, that's the biggest attack so far of the match. Nice little
interesting. A good movement, but I don't think it was threatening enough.
No, not really.
JP Bell there used to be a British coach, but now works with the Netherlands and doing a great job.
Coming up in the last minute. Neither player has any kind of advantage. Oh, Vantiend.
A bit of a drive there at the edge of the contest area.
If one player can find a way to get through the defense, really get a nice decisive entry, I think that'll be decisive for the match.
Yes.
Whether even if it ends in a minor score or draws the penalty from the other player. Of course, always want to see a really positive conclusion to all these matches, and we've been treated to that. Oh, and there we go!
And you
That's
were
it.
just about to say that. They must have obviously heard you. Normally it comes to the big one right near the end. And like we say, we always want to see it on a very positive note.
And Vantiend certainly delivered there.
Definitely.
Hazim, of course, is shattered by disappointment at the moment, but
yes,
it's something that is just part of the game.
That's it, and something they'll reflect on and look at the performances and hopefully gain some experience from that.
So this is going to be a very interesting weight class today, and particularly in the C and D that we've got. There are several Georgians playing today.
Yeah, well, I think there's a sort of a battle that will go on here within the Serbians and the Georgians throughout here today. Ones that we really will be watching very, very closely. But very much like yesterday, there is a real big pool of high quality athletes that are very much capable of getting on that podium or very close to it. So it will mean that there'll be some very close matches and very tight fought and maybe very small margins that these athletes will get through to the next rounds. It's a little bit unpredictable at this moment. I think we'll have more of an opinion of how these athletes are going to progress by their first match.
Yeah.
We'll see whether they're going to have a good day at the office or not.
Well, that was a really nice Sode Tsurikamigoshi by Vantiend. Been a very popular throw. It's very difficult to stop. But now we have
Ninan Tavicius.
Tavicius from Lithuania.
And Petra of Czech Republic.
Petra taking a very strong Jigotai. Nina Tavicius has a nice, big, deep... Oh, but rolled.
Nice counter.
Oh, nice counter on Petra's part.
And Petra takes the lead with the Wazari in the opening seconds of this contest. Well,
so even
a great start, but a wake-up call for his opponent from Lithuania.
So the Uchimata, of course, is a terrific throw, but if you don't get that Kazushi, you're liable to be countered.
He started off with a very strong Kumikata, the high collar grip there, drawing the head down. He looked he's very, very positive in his grips. Comes deep into the back, very threatening there as the hips come through.
So kind of gutsy that he's sort of trying a similar entry. It's more Tsurigoshi.
Yeah, where he got countered the last time. So you would have thought they were a little bit nervous doing that so closely after being caught for a Wazari.
But you can get stuck. You can get stuck in an approach.
Yes.
Oh.
Petra trying to come back into with the hip throw, and obviously being in the driving seat at the moment with the Wazari, he cannot afford to take his foot off the pedal here because the accumulation of Shidos have already started. Beautifully done.
Ippon for Petter.
Well, he's not letting up until he makes sure that
Yeah.
it does count.
Nenadovicius was really trying to counter that, but he landed first before rolling Petter completely through, so his back was the one that hit the mat. I think he might be a little... He's not sure why that happened.
A little bit of a shock there.
Yeah, he's a little shocked.
But Petra from the Czech Republic goes through to the next round. And he did it in style.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing about it. There was, so far, some nice judo with 2 matches in.
Yeah.
Ippon's brilliant. Very, very strong judo at this moment.
So he's trying to roll him through, but his back hits the ground. You know, if you hit first, if it's not a Sutemi Waza, then if you hit first, then the scores goes against you.
And now we have coming up Blondal of Iceland and Khan
Pakistan.
of Pakistan.
Blondal has a really nice upright stance.
Blondal and a blondie. Yeah. I bet he gets ripped with that quite a few
Blondal.
times. Well, he's got a very strong grip
very
there, as you
strong.
can see.
Yeah.
And he slightly changes it now to come over to block that arm. It's just really settling, a little bit of a settling process going on here in controlling.
Khan definitely looks a bit more defensive at this point. It's more like he's
Looks
got
like-
a grip, but Khan has 2 hands, but he's not doing anything with it.
He's got a strong grip, but it looks very defensive.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's really just holding out.
The referee agrees.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't look like he's engaging at all. Looks absolutely terrified out there. Possibly overwhelmed with the nerves, and he's got over the top there, but the Sianagi attempt from Blondal blocks his
Can't take it
opponent's
all.
stop. He exchanges with a Sianagi, so
Little tape
1 for
came off
1.
there. Blondal obviously feeling like Newaza is the way to go here. Tachiwaza wasn't really moving very much. We've seen some terrific Newaza, some things that hadn't seen before.
The Atlantic
There we go, the
is
Osakomi.
straight in the Osakomi, and Can really working hard to try and get out of that. And he's doing a good job.
Oh, and took it
Well
down.
done.
Nice.
But he
But
walked
tapping
straight
into
that
Jijigatame. Yeah, nice.
Oh,
Nice. Nice transition.
out of the frying pan into the fire.
He
as they
thought he
would
had
say.
escaped.
Yeah. Blondal goes through to the second round, and sadly for Can, is a little bit of a learning curve there for him, and as rotating it, all that effort to get out of the Osakomi, but left himself very vulnerable.
But Blondal's going to have a much different kind of match in his next one. He's going to be going up against Nicolas Sherazadashvili from Spain. Who is currently seated third.
Doesn't exactly sound like a Spanish name,
No,
does
he's
it?
one of the Georgians I
Yes,
was
him.
mentioning, but
Yes.
he is playing for Spain. And at the top of Pool C, we have Vinayashvili.
Yeah,
also from
Vinayashvili,
Georgia.
very top number 2 seed coming in, and a big hope. This is a weight category that Georgia really want to excel in, aren't they? They're excited today about this weight category.
So up now, Milimono from Guyana versus Ozerler from Turkey. And I anticipate today is going to get really loud with these a lot of Georgians and Turkish players.
Well, Milimono there defending off that Sianagi. Osler, Sianagi is very, very strong. Good start for him.
Milimono stepping up. working to get. He's got a grip on the same side. Now we've seen several players get penalized when taking a same side grip and not attacking soon enough. The referees are being quite rigorous about it.
Definitely, yes. They've been definitely on the ball with the gripping styles.
Elimination seems to be a little. It's funny. He's a couple times he's like not sure where he is on the mat. Got to make sure that he's stepping in. I think he's relatively new to this level.
Definitely, yes.
So, good experience. Let's see if he's able to translate that into some success this morning.
Well, the one thing that we have noticed quite, and it's been very obvious, is the power and how dangerous a lot of these African countries are. They're very fit, very strong, and they have got one or two skills that are very powerful, and you really can't underestimate them at all. You really cannot.
But Ozerler was clearly very strong there as well, coming in with a nice ouchigari and then switching directions.
And this
to take Elimination
where,
down to the side.
And this is where we have a lot of experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
This shows quite considerably in this match.
So good decisive matches up to this point. Had a little bit of a slow start with our very first one, but
it's
really picking up.
Warming up.
The next contest on first round for winner under 90 kids.
Coming in, and then nice taking that in a different direction. Milimono was just really resisting the ouchigari handily, but then
oh,
just
a little bit of a hook in there, wasn't
it? Change the ouchigake and really changing it around.
Well, Zachary Burke that you see there just in our screen, coming in on the white.
Zachary Burt,
yes,
from Canada. Aurélien Diaz from France.
Diaz, they're from France in the blue.
That was a whack.
Definitely a bit of a donkey kick there, but not intentional, just poor timing, as we would say.
Burt getting the Shido for not engaging enough. But Diaz has really he's got a
feisty.
very super dynamic, aggressive stance. Really positive attack here into the Sankaku.
Definitely.
The Sankaku has been a huge factor in this tournament so far.
It's definitely been a very popular turnover into the Sangaku Jimi or the Sangaku.
Osaikomi.
Hold on, there's just really needs to control a little bit more, settle it down, get those legs tidied up. It just sort of separated there, which allowed far too much room for the Canadian to maneuver himself out of there.
So Diaz definitely has the momentum so far.
He looks very dangerous.
Really driving, but Bird, nice ouchigari.
Well, there was an opportunity that was missed.
But Diaz really wasn't shaken by that. It was nice and deep on Bert's part, but Diaz pretty much withstood it without too much trouble. Bert still a bit on his heels.
Well, this young man, junior from France, junior European champion, and in the World Championships was part of the individual and team where he was 5th place. So this is someone that hits some very high targets, a young athlete that obviously is testing the water in the senior division now for France. Obviously, looking the long-term sort of towards possibly Paris, I would have thought.
That was a nice ouchigari. Really widespread, coming in with really good penetration and getting his right leg way out to the side. Second Shido for Bert. So he's got to step it up now. He doesn't have latitude to make any mistakes or to wait.
Well, Bert, slightly senior to his opponent, has Tagari, but sadly,
Yeah.
this feisty young athlete from France
Just had it all the way.
had a little bit more oomph in him, really. He was so dynamic and very dangerous on his feet. He was very agile and explosive, wasn't he? That Tagari, he stepped in there, but he stepped in quite high.
And
really
that
whole body weight came flying over on towards Bert, which lost his balance, and he couldn't really rescue, even though he did try to get the counter with the Uranagi, but by lifting, just accelerated that Tagari.
So I'm wondering if actually it might have been more Osoto Otoshi. I'd like to see the replay and see how decent, if he drops or does he drive forward.
Yes. Well, we'll get a replay of that, but what a start for this young man from France. A young athlete coming through. What potential France has got in this young man. The Osota.
So
Got the lift for the counter, but he just accelerated by trying to lift because the whole body, but that arm was the danger.
Right.
It was over so deep that when he did lift his head up, he was just driving and controlling the head motions of Bert.
Now, isn't that bringing the toe around? Isn't that Kawazugake?
Yes.
Okay, Viniashvili, back at the top of the pool, top of the bracket.
Well, that's a real hope for the Georgian team.
Viniashvili, who is second seed
in this competition. Yes.
Against Edouard Trippel from Germany.
Well, Nagyani was from Georgia, took the bronze medal last year in the World Championships. He'll be wanting to do either the same or one better, but has had a great performance throughout the year and a build-up for this competition. And Masters champion last year at the back end of the year, and also in Paris last year. Yeah, last year was his real strong year. A very, very strong, powerful man. Absolutely built like a tank as he drives
and you can see how
here.
his wrestling background is very clear in his play. Trippel really had capitalized on that in a moment ago with a really nice sumigaish, but then Viniashvili really responded with his own attack. And clearly, very powerful player. And that is the trait in Georgian judo, of course, is really where that. Trippel coming through.
Trippel there.
Oh, what an upset!
And that is definitely a result for this young man.
With a Sumi Otoshi. Oh, that's not something you see every day.
Last year was junior world bronze medalist. This year he wants to be a senior world medalist, and if he continues with that performance, then my goodness, he's going in the right direction, taking out the number 2 seed in the second round.
With a brilliant
and in style, with such maturity in his judo. Beautiful technique.
It was a really, really good response to the power and the agility and speed that Viniashvili brings to the match. Trippel really, really went the technical route. Was doing a great job of shifting and turning the drive that Viniashvili was bringing. And here he just look at this. Yeah, and Kosoto as well. So this really nice use of the upper body to come in and take him to that left, and then cutting with the Kosoto to finish it off.
He obviously could match him with strength. You wouldn't looking at the body types, you wouldn't think he was strong enough.
Wiry.
But what he had, he was sensible with the grips. Although he had controlling grips, he actually kept his body loose. He wasn't defensive. He just kept himself open to be able to adapt, and that's what he did. He reacted very well and responded with that sort of beautiful,
really nice, very agile.
Bit of
so I think agility there was the big thing that he was using, both technical and physical agility. So now next match, Matthew Koch from the US versus Kassar from Australia. Harrison Kassar.
Triple
Nice exchange there.
21 years of age, triple from Germany. 21.
So a young man
Very young
on
man.
his way. Seeing some great young talent in this weight class. Oh,
Tom Sutemi was
That,
her attempt trying to draw them down. It was a little bit suspect there, wasn't
yep,
it?
and he gets
and
one.
he
You-
gets the
you
shooter.
cannot go right
Yes.
into.
It was a little bit too direct,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
You cannot do Kansetsuwaza while you're in a Tachiwaza situation. So let's see if Koch can really capitalize on this. He's got a really powerful grip and coming in for Harai
Nice.
Goshi.
He didn't seem to have the confidence to keep that grip, even though it
lost
was
it,
so
yeah.
powerful.
Lost
All
it
he
on the
really
end.
needed to have was that sleeve rotation, a bit more pull. But the upper body, the high collar grip was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Kazar looks like he's quite powerful. I think that, he might have just jerked his arm out as Koch was coming around. So power, as we were talking about yesterday, becomes more and more of a factor in these upper weight classes.
Kasa just playing a bit of a waiting game. They're trying to look for the Uranagi.
Koch doing some Ashiwaza, but Kasar answering quite readily. So despite the power, there's a lot of versatility in all these players as well, of course. You can't just depend on that.
Gets the good lapel grip, throws that right hand high up once more.
He's got a really nice reach. Koch has a reach advantage, I think, over Kasar. But he's not quite taking advantage of some of the opportunities
Definitely,
that
I
are
was just
popping up
about to
there.
say that he's not taking full advantage of being able to connect like that so easily, but he doesn't really react off it.
Like
So
some of the really mature players we've seen.
Would be straight in there
And
with
then
the
and then
attack.
just driving them to their back. That is now illegal wazari. So even though Kasar was on his knees, if Koch had just driven him straight to his back.
Oh, well,
Beautiful.
there was the mistake.
Yeah.
He came over with that arm and
Tried
really
to do
didn't.
kochi.
He didn't actually break the kazushi.
He didn't have the
and
kazushi.
and then he came in for the kochigari, but he left himself so high up that
And
his
Koch-
opponent was
and
able to
Kasar
come
really took
under
advantage
the
of it.
hips
Yeah.
and level him.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful throw by Kasar.
Nice throw.
Read really nicely for this big, beautiful uranage. So well done for Harrison Kasar, who will be moving on to the next round. Well, he will be playing triple from Germany in the next round. See, he's coming in. It was a really nice, good big movement.
Oh, beautifully done.
Big movement on
And
that. Yeah, Kochi, but
There was the winning factor up, that belt grip, controlled and used it as a real lever as he came over and more or less clotheslined him across the chest. The power that really took.
now that was the second or third time that he'd tried that, so I wonder if Kasar had kind of baited him a little bit. And I wouldn't be at all surprised. So,
Now, we
Rodriguez
have Rodriguez from Portugal.
Guerra
And
from
Guerra.
Nauru. Nauru is a country we learned about today.
Yes, it's not a country we see very often, and but again, you cannot underestimate them. They're very strong athletes that come in here, and very much determined to get a result in some way or another. Whether it's just upsetting the odds on one or two stages.
I'd say Rodriguez though has the edge here in
Yes, the
terms of the
Portuguese
kumikata. He's driving what's happening at the moment, whereas really, really struggling to keep up. But Rodriguez is moving him around where he wants him to go. He's the one who's deciding
He's
on
got
the
a
direction
fair-
and
yeah, he's got
energy
that-
of the motion. And big Makikomi.
Oh. Well, you could see him setting
Just
it up.
setting
He had
it
a
up,
traditional
yeah.
sort of grip,
Very
the high
beautiful.
collar, sleeve grip. He was ruffling him a little bit and just waiting for
Just
the right
step,
reaction.
right.
And then the arm slipped right across
Right
for
across.
the Makikomi.
Beautiful textbook
Nice.
Harai Makikomi.
Well, we're firing through these stages. It's quite nice to see so many big throws here. And what impact they're having. You can actually hear it.
Next up. Oh, here we go. So that really pretty. Just perfect winding. down into that. And he was also quite nice about it. He didn't just land right on Nauru's chest. I'm sorry, on Guerrero's chest.
Now we have coming up Van Tien. We saw him earlier on. A great start, this young man from the Netherlands. Bobanov from Uzbekistan. And we know that the Uzbeks they've got some strong athletes. They had some wonderful performances yesterday from the Uzbekistan team. So let's see how this athlete starts off today. We know that Van Tien is on form, but he's up against a tough opponent this time. Much
more experienced, it looks like.
Yeah, definitely much more experienced.
And as we've seen in several matches, we'll have different styles of judo. Van Tien from the Netherlands will have...
Tamiwa's attempt there as he tries to get that leverage. Very well anticipated by Van Tien. Didn't seem too fussed with it at all.
Very focused. Really coming in, taking it to Bobanov. It's really interesting the body types you see, and the variation here. There hasn't been a lot of height variation, but body types have been very different. We've seen some very wiry, rangy kinds of players like Trippel from Germany, and
yes.
And
that wiry strength.
Yeah, Bobanov seems to be more in that category.
Yes.
Somebody's going to get called here, I'd say. Yep.
Possibly both of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both players need to be a bit more active.
Neither one of them were really wanting to make that sort of gutsy move. Both head to head, drawing each other down into a right angle.
And especially if you've got both hands, you really need to be able to look towards setting something up, working towards creating the opportunity, or launching a specific attack. And they both had it. They both had both hands, and they weren't really doing much at the moment. And so Bobanov has opted now to start launching attacks even without getting both hands. Yeah, both players are really not very aggressive in engaging at the moment.
No,
I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up another one.
Looking a little bit apprehensive, especially Bobanov at this particular moment, but for him it's his first match, and he would have obviously had an opportunity to analyze the performance of Van Tien, and beautifully executed there.
Wazari for Van Tien? No, Bobanov for the counter, right?
Oh no, I thought that was Van Tien.
I thought so too, but
it was Sodi.
Yeah,
came through,
but he goes to his knee, and then he takes him to the right.
It's right.
Yeah.
What a call!
That was really interesting.
That was a very good call from the referee.
But I think they might be reviewing it. Yeah, because Bobanov was down on his shoulder.
He fell over himself. It wasn't executed.
I don't know.
It was a little bit. Maybe look at the control. I think if they have control and they execute it, then it can count. So if it was a deliberate move into that counter, but I think it was the overall commitment, and he just fell over the side because of the reaction. Did he actually have control of that counter?
It looked pretty
convincing
to
for me. It did, I know, but I'm trying to work out why they would have taken that out. There's two possibilities. That it wasn't a Wazari, he landed more to the front, or there was lack of control.
Well, in any case, Van Tien dodged a bullet there.
He definitely dodged one there, a big one.
And so as you were saying earlier, so Van Tien's second match, Bobanov's first match. Bobanov may have had a chance to look at Van Tien's first match, but I would have expected Van Tien to come in with much more energy and much more momentum, coming off of that very decisive, beautiful throw in his first match. And it's just, he just hasn't done that.
No.
Oh, big Uchimata attack by Bobanov. And Van Tien just missing the Uchimata Sukash. If he'd had both hands, he might have been able to convert that. That would have been pretty.
But here he goes into the Niwaza and looks but he's a little bit slow to react there and loses out on a very good opportunity to capitalize in the Niwaza.
Van Tien, I think, picking it up a little bit. 22 seconds left, no score. Both Shidos, both have one Shido.
A real head-to-head clash there. Tayatoshi now, we saw Bogdanov do that in the earlier minutes of this contest, and it looked threatening there.
It doesn't really.
But at this moment, that's one thing he's got to be very careful, especially when they edge in towards each other.
Right.
Their weight is to the front. So when you've got a Tayatoshi or a Cianagi, that can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
Dangerous position to have your body in. So we're now into the golden score, and this fight could go either way, definitely. But there seems to be a lot more life in Bogdanov there from the Uzbek. Cianagi.
Oh,
yes,
yeah, Bogdanov.
That's a
I think he's
score.
got the Wazari. Or was it enough for Van Tien to take the control away? He certainly was trying. Did he have enough?
Did he have enough control on that? But you know what?
No, he didn't. Bogdanov did not have the control, so.
That's an absolute shame, that one. I'm really surprised of that, because it was such a big throw.
Oh, maybe the referee might have gotten some
it was a
correction.
score.
So a couple of really borderline kinds of situations here where Bogdanov had that counter earlier, and now whether or not he had the control coming into that, finishing up that throw.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
I'm surprised.
Okay.
Very surprised. But
Really
obviously it's the control,
edgy judo.
isn't it? He lost control. Uchimata.
Big Uchimata.
Another strong attack there. He seems to be really controlling this golden score.
Bogdanov is definitely out in front at the moment in terms of
Very
the dynamics
lively
of the
on
match.
his feet.
Oh, boy, that wasn't so
well,
good.
That timing was very poor
That
there.
that was terrible.
Yes, yeah, he timed that completely wrong.
So a little bit of a stumble for Bogdanov.
Changes the dynamics a
boy.
little bit. A
Another
Tayatoshi
one.
attempt. This time it was
That's
a little
so-
bit more convincing there.
Yeah,
that
a little bit, enough not to draw another penalty.
yes. Now Bogdanov really has to be careful not to make any more silly errors.
But Van Tien can step it up and take back control of this match. He can take it.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Whoa, whoa,
And
whoa.
Bogdanov, another stumble.
Well,
Okay.
Bogdanov really is playing into the hands of the referee now if he carries on like
no
that.
Shido, yeah.
Van Tien's really tactically going for this.
Oh, that was a nice.
That was a real
That was a really
commitment.
nice
And the
coaching.
difference is, what we've got to look here really of the dynamics is that Bogdanov is putting all these attacks in. What is
Right.
Van Tien
Right,
doing?
there we go.
But
There's Van
a
Tien.
Cianagi, that's saving his bacon.
Oh,
Nice counter.
so that won't count for Van Tien probably because the referee would have scored it
Well,
immediately.
this is becoming a very interesting, very close match again. I thought Bogdanov really had the golden score under control, didn't he?
But
by getting
Van
those
Tien has taken it back.
penalties, it's really slipping away from him. He cannot, and he does make errors. That's the problem. He makes some silly errors.
130. Oh,
Oh!
that's it. Oh, no.
Again,
Oh.
another strong attack, but this time a very, very strong one.
Very strong. Really had
So
Van Tien coming
Van
down.
Tien has to really now put a couple in.
But,
Comes driving on forward. Head gets pulled down, but you see, this is the problem. Bogdanov
that-
is putting too many in.
Yeah,
He should
and-
be a bit more precise, cutting down the number of attacks
but
and
I
making
think he
them
can
much
feel
more
Van Tien
precise.
really looks like he's hitting the edge of his endurance, and I think Bogdanov really senses that. He can feel that, and he's pushing.
Oh, what a comeback on that.
There we go.
That Osodagari was just
Osodagari.
there. He was going, but
And Bogdanov,
what a reaction
a nice
from Bogdanov.
reaction, very powerful. Oh,
Oh. Well, I wasn't sure where
Yeah,
that
where
string
that
was
arm
coming
went.
from, but
Yeah.
it didn't sound comfortable. That's
Oh,
all.
he's tapping. He's got the
Tapping there.
Shimiwaza.
Shimiwaza was on.
Okay.
Again, some beautiful transition into the Niwaza. But
kind of a grinding end.
Yeah, it looked
a
to
grinding
be, well,
match.
you could hear with Bogdanov, there was a scream there.
Somebody
he obviously
was-
got caught
yeah.
up, didn't he?
I thought his arm might have been really
Yeah.
compromised, and he's taking some time getting up. But that was a great transition from the tachiwaza into the arm lock. Yeah, I think Bogdanov's nursing his arm there a little bit.
Well, Van Tien will go through to the next round. He'll be up against Rodriguez of Portugal, so that'll be an interesting match. Van Tien again looking strong, and
But inconsistent.
yeah,
He's going to
it
need
was a little
to.
bit up and down there, wasn't it?
He's
There
gonna
was
need to step it up.
moments in that contest that it could have been all over and done for him.
And Rodriguez is, as we saw against Huera, of course, how you play will change from match
Yes,
to
because
match.
his opponent wasn't obviously of the
Right.
stronger.
But Rodriguez is going to come in very definitely, I think, and not give Van Tien a lot of openings.
Now, a big hope for Hungary is coming up now very soon. They're a little bit disappointed. Yes, they were hoping that up until now they would have had a couple of places at least from their team, but it's not going so well for them at the moment. So all hopes are going to be on this young man, Tot of Hungary. That will be coming up very shortly. And he'll be up against Bozbayev of Kazakhstan, which is a very tall order. It's going to be a very tough fought match. Unless someone makes the ultimate mistake, and we have seen that.
We've
haven't
seen
we?
already. Typo over Vinashvili.
Tot obviously has had a wonderful performance throughout the year. He's gradually built up to these World Championships, and a real contender here as a seed coming in to this competition. 5th place, he was just outside the medals last year. 5th place he picked up. He'll be wanting to go that one better or even more. He has definitely the ability, but Bozbayev is going to not make it easy. But
Shimiwaza.
there's a Shimiwaza. As he
Oh my gosh!
Another seed looks in trouble.
Oh, and he had those like me too, but that took it
And
down.
he's not
And now he's
letting
doing
him
it again.
He's still in
Bozbayev
trouble.
taking this match to Tot, and he's working on the. Oh, but I think Tot's covered up now. So, wow.
Whoa, well, if that's not a wake-up call for the Hungarian, I'll never know what can be.
And that's the kind of- right.
The Niwaza, he's got to be careful down there. He cannot just leave himself open.
And that's the
the
kind of
Hungarians
opportunity
are
you've
very,
got to
very
jump on.
good in
Right.
Niwaza.
Yeah.
Very, very sharp down there for that to happen. I am totally surprised.
So Bozbayev controlling this Kumikata and now saying, okay,
He seems
let's go
to be
again.
all over him.
He really likes this Newaza. He's being very deliberate about it, though. If he doesn't get moving a little faster, he's just going to get called for stand. Referee giving him quite a bit of time. So let's see if Tot maybe caught his breath down there. See if he's ready to come back in. It's interesting. Tot's approach here is interesting. He comes in so close. Really, really close. Big spinning. Temiwaza.
It almost landed there for Yoko Wakari.
Yeah, but
something.
Bozbayev read it really well.
But Bozbayev, he reacted well, and he anticipated that move.
It is like Yoko Wakari, except the
It
feet
is.
are again to the outside
Yes,
instead of
that's
coming
it.
through
On
between
that
them.
occasion, he leant back a little bit more, didn't he, than the
Yeah.
other occasions we've seen it in the previous
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
There's been a few athletes that have been gutsy enough to do that, but they haven't actually been successful.
Nope.
It's not been a successful technique.
But it certainly will shake up your opponent.
That sort of movement's been more successful in the Niwaza.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Tot really likes this. He's had that kind of spinning quality to his attacks up to this point. He gets in, he gets his grip, and then he really, really throws himself around in a spiral movement. He's got this stockier build. I think he's really capitalizing on how
Definitely
concentrated his mass is.
He's built like a tank. He really is. He's so solid. But he's got wonderful judo. He really has. And I'm glad that this has started to stretch out a little bit. And he's getting an opportunity to get that second wind, really, because it could have been all over and done with.
That would have been a big... So he had a penalty, but it got waved off just now. So both players, no score, no Shidos.
So it's been very interesting, hasn't it? And
Bozbayev again working on top here, but he's not really getting anywhere. I'm not sure why he's spending so much time on something where it's pretty clear that he's not going to make a lot of headway.
no.
I wonder if he's working to get towards the end of the match and then get his Wazari so that soon enough towards the end that he won't be able to...
Yeah, trying to time it much more better so that when he does get the score, he doesn't make him angry and come back at him.
It doesn't give him time.
Doesn't give him time to get back.
But Toad is quite quick. He is really astonishingly quick for this weight class.
Very sharp
He almost
reactions.
looks like one of the lighter...
He looks he looks like he fights like a lightweight.
Yeah. You know, so...
But
But
obviously he's
Bozbayev
seeking-
having quite a match,
Yeah.
looking quite ready. Looks very composed and he's not breathing too hard. There we go.
I think this would be good for Tot just to sort of compose himself and think again, plan B, plan C, if he might even be on more than that, because there's been a lot to deal with in this contest for him.
See, again, that very huge dynamic, springing movement that Toad has. Bozbayev, though, has almost a Japanese stance that he's bringing to this match. It's kind of surprising.
And Tot looking to get that hand on the lapel, but obviously he's finding it and Bozbayev is controlling that
really
left
is.
hand, and he's
And he's
really
just
blocked
not
it.
being shook up.
And so he's now having to revert to doing Sianagis without that grip.
Oh.
But again, that sort of
Yeah, that-
twisting through. And that was a little bit closer to scoring there.
Now, Bozbayev picked up a Shido, probably for passivity, because Toad has just launched so many attacks,
Yeah.
and Bozbayev just hasn't. 22 seconds. Clock needs to get moving there. There we go.
He's trying desperate. Sianagi is
Sianagi.
really, he's battling.
That's wild. Bozbayev not doing something there. Not coming down. We've seen
He
several
really
times where
doesn't want
players
to mix it in the Niwaza. Even though he showed what he was capable of doing in the Niwaza.
in the very first
It
exchange.
was scary what he was capable of doing, and he's never
and
gone
he didn't
down
do it there
since.
again. Yeah, and that was the same situation, yet he didn't do it.
Surprise. So we're coming up to the last seconds of this contest, and we're going to golden score. Bozbayev obviously going into this golden score not in a very good position with two Shidos. One more would result in the hand sokamaki. Just shows you how busy Tot has been. The Sianagi, but he's got to be careful.
You
doing
can't just
too
throw
many.
them. You can't
Too
just,
many attacks, not enough quality. And he has to get quality first,
And there we
not
go.
quantity.
There you go. Shido. Yeah, you can't just throw them out there.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. Possibly a little bit of frustration, but he has to play more of a bit of a tactical game here. His opponent hasn't really put much attacks in, so
Not
why
on the
not
feet.
let him try and do a bit more work or make him show?
Let him come in and then do a counter, like we've seen so many players do. But
He doesn't seem to have much of a tactical edge to this.
No.
Tot is not really looking at this score and going, well, do you know what? If he just played with the kumikata, be strong, which we know he is. He's built like an OXO cube on legs. He's solid.
Yeah.
And there's not much you could actually unstable. But then
But I like that. I like that he's coming in and just trying to go for the. But he could be a little bit more agile about it and bring Bozbayev in. He clearly could be launching counters as well, but he's not. He's so aggressive that Bozbayev has no room to attack.
Don't get me wrong. I want someone to engage all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But my concern is that you're attacking for the sake of attacking, and the quality is not
You
there.
can hurt yourself.
Which means that you could end up losing a match when you deserve to win because you do one too many. Now that's one
big
attack
attack by
but one
Bozbayev.
good attack
One
that's
good attack.
very threatening and close to scoring. Now that's one attack nowhere near a scoring.
Yeah.
Now he finds himself in Niwaza. So he's got to be clever. At this moment, I would say Bozbayev has been very clever in the way he approaches this golden score.
Oh! Wazari for Tot?
Yeah, well, The Kazakhstan fell.
I thought Bozbayev kept control of that and then brought him in the other direction.
Control, totally believe in that. Kazakhstan did the attack,
but
Tot tried to come through for the Osotogari because he was going down and he went on to the other side.
But they lost control.
So neither one of them had
control.
Neither one
have
it.
So that's why I said, was I ready for a Tot?
Yeah. You were right then that the first attack obviously was the Kazakhstan, but he just lost control.
No.
Now, can he show a little bit of magic that we saw in the opening seconds? But now, maybe that's why he's not even
Tot is not going to give him that opening again, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
But Tot has definitely backed off on that really aggressive chest forward entry that he had before. Now they've both got hands. They've both got a really positive. Oh, that's interesting.
That's a very deep squat.
Yeah. You know.
Almost close if you'd only touch the heels.
Oh, big
well, there's the Sianagi.
Cartwheel.
Good, strong attack. Now, that was one of the best attacks he's done.
Yeah, really. No doubt about that one.
I think this time he managed to get that lapel with the Sianagi.
Yep.
He got the lapel, he got the opening, and that's what he's been missing right through the whole contest. He's not managed to get his left hand on that lapel. That time he did.
Bozbayev, I think we might see a penalty. Bozbayev just has not had the attacks.
No.
Especially these last few by Tot have been very convincing.
Well, it's been interesting. There's no doubt about it. And it's definitely been a real battle between both these. And it's a match that could have gone either way. On paper, Tot is the stronger opponent, and there you have it. The third and final, Shido Hansokamaki, and Tot goes through after a very challenging and grueling match into the third round.
It was a real meat grinder.
Oh, gosh, you're telling me.
See highlights of some of these attacks.
To watch.
Very deep Sewanage, but he just he loses the other hand, and Tot's got a really brilliant upright posture, breaking the grip. So up next, Medvedev from Azerbaijan versus Klavusau from Belarus.
Yeah, Klavusau, Belarusian. Well, it looks like he's just got out of bed. The Belarusian. He's a little bit dazed there, as you can see him in that picture, but I'm sure he'll wake up very quickly.
Okay, here we go. Medvedev in white, Klavusau in blue.
Well, again, in a bit of a bird's eye view there at the beginning. I'm glad they changed the positioning, otherwise we'd be in a lot of trouble.
Medvedev immediately in with an overhand grip. Klavusau responds with a round the back.
Well, this is a good hope for the Azerbaijanis. I'm surprised that the roof hasn't come off the ceiling here. Normally they're a little bit
normally
more,
when an Azerbaijani player gets on.
Normally they're a lot more louder than this. Obviously still half asleep. It's been a long week. So both looking pretty apprehensive.
Yeah, very tentative at this point.
Similar grips, the hips in.
Klavusau in for the big around the waist.
Klavusau was just looking for that counter, wasn't he, there?
But Medvedev obviously very comfortable in this situation. Both players feeling each other out, trying to figure out just where's your center of gravity? How does your balance move? Oh! Klavusau in with the hip for the Tsurigoshi, but Medvedev really locking up the lower leg.
Well, Medvedev there drawing his opponent in on towards what looks to be the hip throw. But sometimes you get that switch there for the Kosota.
Mediev's about to be called here. No, Clavasau. Clavasau.
Well, it looked a bit, for me, a little
he
bit
just
of a
pick up 2
50s.
Shidos?
Yes, I was surprised. I thought it would be a 50-50. Oh, lovely switch of direction. Feeling
Nice.
the resistance of his opponent and switched it. Nice reaction. No score, but still very threatening indeed.
They both want this big Surigoshi.
They're both very similar in styles, aren't they?
Clavasau going for Ko Tsurigoshi and Mediev for O Tsurigoshi. Very little different there. Wow. Very powerful players. There's just enormous strength.
Yeah, they're really looking for
They're
the
both
big,
really strong.
full contact. They obviously like the closeness and the approach
These
in
big
this
hip
contest.
throws.
Head to head, hips to hips, arms like bear hugging each other.
Yeah.
And they feel comfortable. For me, if I was in that situation, I'd want to be running a mile.
Sai into nice.
Problem is when they're so close, they don't leave some openings for them to be able to be adaptable
Right.
and change.
So they're not so much setting up things and getting the reaction, except that the reactions are very tiny. To get into these throws, they're a little bit of a jog and then into the big attack.
When you look at the upper bodies, they don't really move so much.
No.
It's from the hips down.
Right, so it's these
the
tiny
hip
adjustments.
and the feet.
Right.
But the upper body stays interlocked with each other.
And the problem with that is that
Oh,
when you're that close, you can nice coming into Shimowaza. You can feel the other partner, your opponent really, really well and immediately. You can feel the shifts they're making.
Yeah.
You can feel, but they can feel you too. So
That's it, it's a
these
50
attacks are very difficult to
It is
to
50-50
complete.
at this moment.
Yeah.
It's how the feet and how agile from the hips down they can be.
Mediev getting him a little in. Oh, if he can get him up, if he can get him to lose purchase with the ground. Oh! Clavasau taking him backwards, really stopping
Yep.
Mediev's attack there. Whew.
Well, Clavasau takes the lead with a Wazari, and timing perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Now, Mediev, he can throw, and he is a big thrower, but I don't know if he's left himself enough time now, because what you would
But
get...
Clavasau has to keep going. He's got 2 Shidos.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, gosh, yeah. No,
Oh,
I'm
and there
not
he
even
goes.
looking
Come
at-
on.
I'm looking so much at the athletes themselves.
And
The
Mediev
scoreboard.
again coming in with that strong hip. Oh, Clavasau! Oh, ow!
wow.
Ooh, looks like his shoulder got
Felt
compromised
that one
there.
as well. Felt that.
Yeah.
Looked like it was very high on the shoulder.
Inadvertent, but, painful nonetheless. Oh, what a match.
Possibly an overstretch there, because he doesn't look in too much pain.
No. So
Most
good.
probably
That's
just
good.
felt it as a bit of an ow.
Whew. Another
we're glad
another
that-
grinding match. Clavasau from Belarus.
Oh no, they've taken it off.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
Obviously
into golden
landed
score.
on his front. Well,
That's amazing how long they took to take that off,
Yeah.
because that happened like 40 seconds ago.
yes. Interesting.
Okay. I just wrote down Clavasau's name now.
Oh, it's messed up your paperwork. Oh my dear. You do exactly what I do.
I have to keep track. Okay, well, let's see how this goes.
Interesting, isn't it? He gets another crack at it.
Man,
Very, very lucky man.
oh, Mediev really trying. Mediev he's done that several times now. And if Clavasau, he's done that several times. If Clavasau is able to read that well enough, there's a huge counter possibility here, a couple of them.
For me, the psychological edge, will it be for the Azerbaijan? Because Clavasau thought, I've won this. I'm going on into the next
I thought I was
round.
done, yeah.
Now he's going,
Okay.
no.
But
I've
that's
gotta
something
get
you gotta
back."
do.
So he's got to deal with that. And this is he got the ability to. Because a lot of the time you see that and it goes all horribly wrong afterwards.
That was a nice change up
It
from
was a
Medvedev.
very good change for the Sumigeshi.
But again, it's like
Nice.
they get to this tension, they start applying pressure, and all of a sudden, bang, into a big movement. Look at that,
It's
really
like the
trying to
start
draw
of
him
a
in.
randori session, isn't it? They grip up and they allow the grip.
Right, they're not
There's
fighting,
no-
there's no
There's no
kumikata.
kumikata. There's no breaking of the grips
Oh,
at
see,
all.
there it goes. Oh, but Medvedev came down.
Tosh.
Oh,
Yes!
nice.
What
Really
a
nice
turnaround.
exchange. Gorgeous. So
Tosh.
Medvedev had been doing that attack all along. Clavasau reads it for the counter, and then Medvedev uses the counter to set up his counter. Oh,
So Medvedev for Azerbaijan, and the delight of this crowd here goes through to the third round of this competition. And my paperwork's looking terrible now.
beautiful.
Beautiful
Really
thing.
nice judo. So that's the kind of big, powerful men's judo that you see where it's not the huge dynamic exchange. So Kochi, first it was up, then down to Kochi.
Taitoshi,
He
but
drops
the
and then
upper body
drives him
control.
through
Yeah.
for Tsurugoshi again.
That was good. That was really good
so
combination of techniques.
Really nice.
Nicely done.
Oh,
Now,
man.
Gosh. Kolowski of Poland now coming up in the white, and Petr of Czech Republic in the blue.
So this is the first time we've seen Kozlowski today.
Yes, this is, he had a bye in the first round. Oh, Kolowski there, great start to Wazari up in the first 30 seconds of this contest. And for Petr, a battle on his hand now to try and stay engaged in this contest. Caught him off a little bit cold there, but he's had the first match under his belt. You would have thought he would be up there lively on the feet and raring to go. Unlike Kolowski, who's had a bye in the first round, so this is first innings. Coming up to 3 minutes, so 1 minute gone. Wazari on the board. Sianagi move there, upsetting his opponent's balance. Not close enough for scoring, but picks up for the lack of engagement there, a Shido. So for Petr, he really has to now start changing the dynamics of this contest. Looking desperately to try and get that left hand high on the collar. Managed to get there, but comes in for the Uchimata, completely off target. Finds himself now on the receiving end of the Niwaza, and the Shimiwaza attempt is on. Again, the high grip over the top totally gets dismissed by Kowalski, but he doesn't stop it from catching the lapel. But this time comes through for the Sodi, then follows through with the Niwaza. Looks very competent down there as he's on the attack, looking to create an opportunity down in the Niwaza. He's going for the Shimiwaza now. Once more pressure on Petr, the Czech Republic, who's trying to back out and does successfully. Kolowski takes over the counter once more, didn't get the score, but follows once more into the Niwaza. Petr finds himself in a little bit of danger, tries to come back up onto his feet. Got to be careful he doesn't leave that arm hanging there.
The next round of tatami 3, the second round for the 19 in blue for the United Arab.
Well, Judo now been awarded once more to Petter, which is very unusual when you're a Wazari down, that you still start picking up penalties for passivity, obviously finding it very difficult to come past the strong control here of Kowalski, who maintains that Wazari very comfortably at this moment with 1 minute 14 seconds remaining in this contest. Well, Petter really has to be very gutsy now, go for it. He has nothing to lose. If he goes out in this round, he's out of the tournament. So he's got all to play. Looking a little bit uncomfortable there, the heavy breathing as he comes back up onto his feet and then starts to engage once more in Kowalski. Throws the arm over the top. This time Kowalski comes in for the Sianagi, follows through once more on top. Very comfortable in the Niwaza. Petter again changes the pace but walks straight onto a Sianagi, and this is where he's got to be very careful that he doesn't open himself up to being very vulnerable for forward attacks such as the Sianagi that we've seen Kowalski do. Goes across, and there you have it, a Wazari. Well, Kowalski defended far too much there, and Petter comes back just in time for a Wazari. And it's a Wazari apiece, 37 seconds remaining. Well, this opens it all up, but as you can see, 2 Shidos on the board for Petter of Czech. 1 more would result in the hand Sokimaki, and so no more mistakes can be made by this young man. Kowalski hasn't got it. Oh, and the Uchimata! Yes, was that a score? Well, Kowalski, he did look like it was getting countered, but I think he maintained control to get the Epon. And I'm quite sure the care system will have a wee look at that just to make sure that Petter didn't manage to spin out control and turn that around in his favour. I don't think he managed. It was very, very deep of an Uchimata. And there you have it. Kowalski goes through to the next round. A great win. And a good start for Kowalski. There you have the highlights of that throw. Well, very interesting one, but you could see there it was so close. Here we have from Finland, Lamanen in the white and Alquesriish here from Iraq in the blue. Alquesriish looking a very, very strong man. First fight for both these athletes. Well, the cross grip there, and El Kurashi, if he keeps that grip, he's going to pick up a penalty, holding on the same side of the gi, and there you have it. He picks up just a little bit too long and holding on the same side of the gi. And the second penalty for LQ Rayashi, who comes in again for another drop. Well, he's not making things easy for himself out here, and he's just putting it on a plate there for this young man from Finland. Really having to do very much in this contest other than control. Two very silly errors made from the Iraqian. High collar grip there, attempting to come over the top. Lamanin just controlling quite nicely, but as you can see, that right hand crawling up over the collar of Lamanin's head, putting a little bit more power into it, more controlling than actually attempting to throw. And this is where we need to really see a bit more action from Al-Qurashi. Well, it's looking very close that Al-Qurashi will pick up his third, and he's not put an attack in as yet. He may look strong, but he really isn't engaging in this contest as much as we would hope for. High collar grip, takes the arm round the back of the arm, as you can see. Sasai attempt, draws his opponent down into the niwaza and looks for the shimiwaza, but across the face. Very aggressive approach down into the niwaza, but nowhere near.
Great job, quality.
The man in there controlling, trying to keep his head out of trouble. Al-Qurashi trying to draw his opponent's head down, but he's not put any, other than that a Sasai attempt, which there was no Kazushi there. He's not really put any attacks, and I think this is the third final Shido, but there'll be a Shido going for both athletes, but it means it's the third and final one to the Iraqian, and he will go out with the Hansokumaki. Well, that's my prediction, but I don't think I'm far from the mark. There you have, definitely no attacks, a lot of kumikata in the third and final. Al-Qurashi disqualified with picking up the accumulation of 3 Shidos. Lamanin goes through to the next round for Finland. Technically wasn't challenged, but definitely physically was. Highlights, I don't think we'll see many, because I don't think there was anything to be seen, but we will head on to the next round.
Second round for men under 90 kids. In blue judo, representing Iceland, Egil Judo. In white judo, representing Spain, Nicholas.
So now we have Shiradashvili from Spain, and he's up against Blondal, who we saw earlier on from Iceland. Shirazashvili, a very strong opponent. Nice judo. Had the delight watching him perform in the World Tour this year, and has a steady, strong performances throughout in the build-up to this World Championships. Masters last year was bronze medalist. Sianagi attempt there. Blondal does really well to spin out of the attack, but now follows through into the niwaza, looking for an opportunity down there.
Shirazadashvili looks like he has quite a height advantage.
Well, he's a very long, lean athlete. There's no, but that wiry strength makes him very, very dangerous.
Oh, okay. And that's why you use it.
That's why he's got those long, wiry arms that come through
Wow.
and the legs that follow it.
Just like a crane reached down and picked up Blondal by the back.
Exactly.
And so Sherazadishvili with a gorgeous over-the-shoulder Uchimata. Sherazadishvili from Spain.
What a throw.
What a throw.
Brilliant.
Surigoshi grip and pull with that Uchimata finish. Beautiful blended technique.
On tatami 3, in blue from Cameroon, Denjon Dolasev. And in white for Switzerland, Simon Goslas.
And now we have Igolnikov from Russia versus Balanta from Colombia. First time we've seen Balanta today.
Yes, this says, I think it's the first time we've seen both of them, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Yep, they had a bite through.
Oh, big
Straight
Uchimata.
in for the attack. Uchimata
For
following
Wazari.
through into Niwaza. So Wazari up in the first 30 seconds.
Let's see if Balanta is able to catch up.
Well, it's going to be a very tall order, there's no doubt about it. And beautifully done. Uchimata.
Sorry, Igolnikov.
Balanta looking a
experience
little
really
bit
showed
sort of
there.
shell-shocked, really. God love him.
yeah, I
But a bit of experience, exposure in the world circuit. There's World Championships.
So
You
stepping
have it in
through.
steps.
Coming back, really beautiful.
Oh, beautifully done with the Koso and the Uchimata. Two very, very nice techniques.
He's got a smile on his face. Balanta goes, man,
oh
you
my
got
goodness,
me.
what have I done?
So,
You've got
taking
me.
him in one direction, drawing the big response, and then stepping through for the Kosorogari.
That was definitely a moment of take me home.
Terrific to see all this really high technical quality.
The camera work is amazing, isn't it? We're able
it's
to
terrific. And these slow motion.
We're able to capture the facial expressions and all. It just tells.
I heard
so
the tech
many.
guys talking about how they've got slow motion cameras and super slow motion cameras and ultra slow motion. So several levels of camera. Ahiavor from Ghana versus Stewart from Great Britain.
Oh, here we have a very even match. Stuart most probably a slight advantage in these athletes have fought each other and they've trained with each other as well quite
Have
a
they?
lot. But Stuart, the stronger of the two on paper.
Oh, just Shido for Ahiavor. Stewart being very deliberate, getting his grip.
Yeah, taking his time.
Really compromising Ayavor's left-handed grip, getting his knee or elbow in on the inside. Ayavor is clearly discommoded by that.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a settling process at the moment. Both are trying desperately to control this match, and I think Stuart's doing quite well. You've got that right hand on the high collar, the elbow stuck in the middle, but
Second Shido for Ayavor.
well,
I'm a little surprised neither player has been called for passivity at this point, since there hasn't been any kind of real definitive attack.
So 2 Shidos on the board there at the moment. Dennis Stewart is the father, Olympic bronze medalist in his own right. So Max Stewart following in the footsteps of his dad, hoping
Looks like
one
we're gonna
day
get a
to be
third
on that
penalty,
podium
stepping out.
like him.
High
And there
roar
you
being
have
called for. Yeah.
third and final Shido. So very short.
Yeah, clear. Yeah, it does look like they know each other pretty well.
Yeah, they do know each other very well. So it's
So that makes it difficult. You know somebody so well, it's hard to.
everyone. He trains in the UK quite a lot. So although he's Ghanaian, spends most of his time out in the UK. So he will have come across these guys on many of occasions. But for Max Stewart, he wasn't really challenged at all in that match. And but the winner of the next one, I think he'll have his hands full. So he'll be watching very carefully in that performance.
Ozerler. Mikhail Ozerler from Turkey versus Kalculaid from Estonia. Klen Christopher Kalculaid. We tried to find some Estonians earlier to help us with this particular name, but we're not
Couldn't find him,
successful.
could we? So hopefully
We're not butchering it too badly.
we haven't. Yeah, we haven't butchered the name. Well, again, it's a bit of a
Wow, Ozerler is really powerful.
battle there going
Yeah.
on.
Kalculaid is really struggling to find his purchase.
Cross grip coming round the back.
Taking him right down. Not a throw, but
Well, Ozula there wasn't looking, hunting too much for an opportunity in the Niwaza.
nope.
I think just waiting his time for the mate.
Okay, coming in for the Surigoshi. It's
Yeah.
been a big popular throw in this category today. Kochigari.
Yeah, that's it. The Ogoshi Uchimata, again, they've been big throws, hasn't there? They're definitely popular techniques that we've seen throughout the 5 days. Well,
Ozerler now has this hugely fundamental grip on both lapels here, but he's not finding a way to get through Kalculaid's really strong jigotai. And Kalculaid's being called for that because he's just holding Ozerler out. Kalculaid trying to get in for a little Uchimata entry, but you can see Ozerler has this very strong positive stance. Kalculaid's a bit on his heels. He's coming back. It gives him a little more move to come in, but Ozerler is just got too strong a posture. Kalculaid's not able to compromise it at all. Okay, Ozerler in for a bit more movement. Coming in for an Uchimata, switching off to Sumigaish, but settling down. He's coming down a bit too far from the Kalculaid's base, so wasn't able to pull him over. Okay, Kalculaid really turning it up, trying to come in with a different way. But Ozerler, finally getting that big overhand grip, in for the Uchimata. Ozerler really breaking it down. Kalculaid just is not able to move Ozerler in a really significant way to get that Kazushi going. He's not able to break that posture. Ozerler's posture is just incredibly strong. We saw that earlier. that didn't end too well for the other player who was doing a similar tactic. Ozerler with a big driving Tayotoshi, but not breaking Kailai's balance. Going for the Ouchigari and then trying to change directions. Ozerler doesn't seem to be big on setting it up. It's just sort of getting it and then driving for it. Okay, Kailai trying a variety of things. Coming in for Sumigaishi, but Ozerler just blocking it up. Neither player interested in any Newaza action at all. Kailai's large dynamic movement just doesn't seem to affect Ozerler at all. Coming in inside, outside Ashiwazas, trying to drive through for that Ouchigari. But despite how much it doesn't seem to really affect him, you can see the sweat coming off of Ozerler's face there. It's a testament to how much energy and power is being expended here. Big Uchimata, Ken Uchimata in the last second, but no score. So no score for either player, but Kailai down by 2 Shidos, which puts him, as always, in a precarious position. He's really got to stay on the offensive. He can't afford to make mistakes. Ozerler in for the Sumigaishi, but Kailai just posting out on his head. If Kailai could just figure out a way to really get Ozerler off balance, another Sumigaishi. This big jumping kind of Kumikata entry. Okay. Kailai clearly feeling the length of this match. Ozerler may have the edge in conditioning. You know, Kailai's come in with that so consistently. It's curious that Ozerler doesn't seem to find a way to use that entry. So coming down for that Sumigaishi, he's tried several times. 42 seconds into golden score. So like if Ozerler had a strong left side Sewanage, this would be a time to pull it out and really use Kailai's big jumping, reaching movement. Okay, Ozerler picks up a Shido. We couldn't quite see what that was for. Kailai with a big concerted Uchimata, but just not really moving Ozerler at all, not compromising his position, not really making it difficult for him to step around. Again, big jumping, reaching entry. I'd love to see Ozerler just turn to his right and just do Sewanage. Okay, here we have, oh, is he going to get the lift? He's got the Oronage. Found the answer to Kailai's big driving left side Uchimata with a nice Uranage. For the Ippon, 1 minute and 14 seconds into golden score. And Ozerler will advance, where he will face Max Stewart, who did not have nearly as challenging a match in this round. So maybe coming in with something of a energy advantage. We'll have to see how that pans out. Here we'll see a replay of that throw. See how low he gets, really drops down, pops him up, brings him around. Just sort of brought him laterally rather than vertically for this. But Kailai was really driving in the other direction. Still, plenty enough to get the Wazari. So up now, we have Maidov from Serbia versus Brilliandis, who we saw in his very impressive first match. DS. Ooh. Maidov, current world champion. So obviously a very formidable player. Diaz coming in at the beginning of his senior career. Oh! With a gorgeous attack that Maidov just barely turns out of. And Diaz has a really good grip on that arm. Oh. Diaz really has the capacity to surprise in this match. He's not going to allow anybody's rank or current position in the World Championships to disconcert him. Oh, see, he got jabbed a little bit, but Maidov and Diaz just immediately started shaking hands. Both players really being more careful about allowing the grip now. Seeing how Maidov got really surprised at that point. Maidov driving in, getting a little bit, he's getting in this really tight chest-to-chest sort of position. Oh, Wazari for Maidov. Nope, waved off immediately. So still no score. .210, 2 minutes, 10 seconds left in the match. Referee directing them to make sure that their gis are all in good order. So let's see how this plays out. Experience, power versus youthful ambition, and really probably the most dynamic player we've seen in this category today. Of course, we're only seeing half the category. Pool C and D, pools A and B are on mat 2. We want to see a follow the action over there. Okay, here we go. Oh, Maidov coming in for this Kouchigari, but Diaz easily stepping out of it. Diaz really getting his grip in for the Uchimata. Oh, and Maidov just again barely holding it off. Diaz really wants this match. Really shaking him up to begin with. Something very similar to what we saw Hashimoto doing the other day when he really wanted to get this going, or yesterday, Fujiwara, I think it was. Yes, Fujiwara. Avoiding the grip. Shido for Maidov. So Maidov having to press, but this is a very dangerous opponent. French coach. Maidov now driving in, trying to get a good grip on Diaz and slow him down to get him to the point where he wants him to be. In for the Ouchigari, but Diaz just shaking it off and in for his own. Oh, but he's in trouble. But gave Maidov that big grip. They're fighting. Oh, who's going to get control of this exchange? Maidov really trying to bring him in. Diaz almost turning him. Oh, that was close. What an exchange. So much going on, even though they're just toe-to-toe and not moving around the mat so much. A lot of dynamic movement in there with their torsos and their centers of gravity, just exchanging places back and forth. That was so close. Maidov nearly had exactly what he wanted to get, and Diaz really, really turning it around. Maidov bringing it to Diaz. Coming across, trying to drive in, finding a way to address this dynamic younger opponent. He's got that strong right hand grip around the shoulder, really trying to bring him in, really wants to go. Oh, Chigari! But Diaz just really able to keep his balance from being compromised. Oh, Maidov going for the lift. Okay, time. Whew, no score. Maidov up by Oshido. In the golden score. In this really surprising, tough 90-kilogram match. Oh, Maidov in for a really... Oh, switching off! Maidov in for a really deep Sewanage, and Diaz just stepping right over him and keeping his upper body, upper torso really, really upright so that he just wasn't going to be turned around and compromised into taking the fall. Okay, again, into this familiar pattern. Maidov reaching with a strong right-hand grip. Diaz responding with a strong left. Kumikata in for an over-the-shoulder, giving Maidov that... Oh! Maidov has this potential to do this big Otoranage, but Diaz is somehow able to stop Maidov from completing that action. How is he able to do that? Okay, again, back into this situation we've seen sometimes. Diaz breaking it off, coming in on the other side. Oh, Kosoro! Kochi! Oh, and Maidov again trying to turn it. Diaz dropping down. Oh, he might pick up a Shido for that. Both players clearly feeling the strenuousness, the energy drain that this match has just taken on both of them. Both coaches, of course, really focused on this match, really trying to make sure that their players are looking for every option, every possibility. Oh, Maidov really coming in strong now. Diaz, oh, coming in again with this, this exchange. Oh, and Maidov driving him down, but Diaz able to stay up keep his upper body up. He landed, clearly landed, straight on his backside, but was his back compromised at all in the landing? Maidov desperately trying to drive and turn. Can we see from this angle? Really, look at that drive by Maidov. But Diaz clearly keeping his back totally off the mat, it seems to me. Grabbing the leg. Maidov called for grabbing the leg. Second Shido for Maidov. One more Shido for Maidov and he is out. Diaz. It's kind of surprising that the French coach is doing a lot of coaching here while Maidov goes off for a medical.
In blue from Venezuela, Elvis Marlon. And the white from Great Britain, Sally Cutway.
Diaz taking the opportunity to catch his breath. Get some composure. Maidov, I think, had a bit of a cut on one of his eyebrows. Okay, Maidov is returning to the mat. Yes, clearly both players bouncing a bit. I think they both had a chance to get their breath back. But the referee is not satisfied with Maidov's medical treatment, sending him back. The French players. Oh my gosh, this match. So really, really amazing match by Diaz. Just a beautiful performance here. Really, really holding Maidov to the, just going toe-to-toe with Maidov, on meeting him largely on his terms. You know, taking the best that Maidov has to offer in terms of attacks, and either, you know, threatening to turn them or riding them out, you know, certainly keeping them from completion at all. Really terrific performance. Everybody in the stands just waiting with bated breath. How's this going to turn out?
Second round for women under 70 kilos, Tatami 2. In the blue judo representing Poland,
Russian coach.
In the white judo representing Brazil, Maria Portela.
France. Trainers on the side still attending to Maidov. You can see the sweat just pouring off of Diaz. Of course, his conditioning and strength training, core strength are clearly superb. Staying loose, want to stay warm. This has been a terrific World Championships this year in Baku, Baku, Azerbaijan. There's been just tremendous judo in almost every single match. Of course, there's always some variety, and some matches aren't quite as quick as others, but you know, I've just been really, really pleased and very happy and excited and thrilled to be here to be able to witness so much wonderful judo. And it's been fascinating to see in person and up front how the character of judo changes from weight class to weight class, not just from player to player, but from weight class to weight class and from country to country. Each region of the world bringing its own particular flair and style to judo, and seeing how that plays out against, you know, Japan versus Kazakhstan, or London versus Russia. I'm sorry, Great Britain versus Russia. It's just amazing to see how it all plays out, and wonderful to see how each player adapts in the middle and blends techniques and comes up with new things that we haven't quite seen before. You know, like that terrific Sankaku Jime that Poland was applying yesterday to such powerful effect. And today, some of these blended techniques that we've seen, Tsurigoshi Kuzushi to Uchimata finish, really beautiful, you know, terrific throws, and how closely Sode Tsurikomigoshi is now becoming to one of its most potent applications. Looks almost identical to Sewanage, classical Sewanage, but then there are also the more typical Sode Tsurikomigoshis, which are much more lateral in their rotation. Just amazing to see how things are playing out. Okay, so crowd waiting. Of course, not the most exciting part of the match when nothing's going on. But I can see Maidov getting his head wrapped, make sure that that little injury doesn't compromise his ability to play. They're really doing an extremely careful job to make sure that not only does it protect the player and his injury, but also it doesn't compromise the other player, and it stays on very securely. So, Maidov is now returning to the mat. Diaz taking a moment to take one more breath. And here we go. It's a lot of bandage for what I think was a fairly small scratch, but want to make sure it... Oh! Oh! Diaz in for the big Uchimata, and Maidov nearly turning it again. Nice exchange. And I think I might have shaken Diaz a bit. I'm not sure how secure that bandage is. It looks kind of loose in the back. We'll see how long it lasts. Maidov clearly has his second wind. He's coming in with a great deal more sharpness. His movement had gotten a little dull before. Yep, the bandage came right off. But the referee, seeing as how they're completely engaged, not stopping them. Oh, Diaz trying to turn. Oh, and Maidov looking for the pickup. Diaz in for the Ojigari, and again in for this, this chest-to-chest movement that, and Diaz really trying a variety of Ashiwaza. Oh. Referee directing Maidov and Diaz to tie their belts. French coach. Okay, Hajime. Okay. Maidov in for the biggest Sewanage entry of the match for him. No, he had another one earlier, but that one's just as big, just as deep. Diaz just sprawling out of it. Referee cautioning the French coach, or no, maybe just dumping that bandage. That was a lot of bandage. What a battle. And it is a lot because anybody who loses this match is out of the tournament. Okay, Maidov has got a big, deep grip on Diaz's left side. Oh, Diff. Okay, able to work it out. Trying to compromise. Maidov trying to get him lifting up. Oh, chest to chest. Clearly where Maidov wants to be. Not where Diaz really likes to be, but oh my gosh, Sasai Tsurikomiyashi. Oh, but he paused. He paused to look at the referee instead of completing the drive and driving Maidov to his back. That was so close. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant response by Diaz. Okay, Maidov coming in for the big right hand grip that he's used quite a lot. Diaz pulling him back. Coming in. Oh, a little bit of Kochi. Just off balancing Maidov, trying to get him compromised. Maidov trying to step around. Diaz turning the upper body. Oh! Maidov dropping out of the exchange. Because he was so compromised. There was just nowhere he could go at that point. I don't think that'll count as a false attack because there was just nowhere for him to go, but referee telling him to arrange his gi, always an ominous sign. Hurry up, can't use it as a breather. Officiating at our tournament here has been superb. Tight. Oh, Diaz picks up a Shido. Not a big deal, not too big a deal. He's got 2 Shidos to spare. Didn't see that happen in all of the excitement. But that's where, with Maidov's big overhand grip, I can certainly see how that's a huge temptation on Diaz's part to duck under that arm. So, not letting Maidov come in and draw him in again. Maidov coming in for the Uchimata, but Diaz easily stepping over it. Maidov just doesn't have the Kazushi or the dynamic movement. Diaz coming in and really threatening to bring Maidov around, but Maidov really dropping down. Oh, just walking. Just shuffling as they move, just getting to the edge of the mat. Oh my goodness. Five minutes in the golden score. Maidov in for a big sewanage. A big driving, popping sewanage, but Diaz easily again able to just stop it short. Diaz just really has Maidov's number in terms of reading him and being able to respond to him. 5 minutes, 20 seconds into golden score. Again, with this sort of interior movement. Yes, pointing to Maidov's grip. See. Both players have got to be at the edge of their endurance at this point. Just getting up and walking is a challenge. The referee telling them both to move, and both players saying, man, just give me a moment. You can see that bandage coming off of Maidov's brow a bit. Okay. Oh, sorry. Maidov got jabbed a little bit, saying sorry. Just good sportsmanship, even though how hard this match has been fought. Just these players have got to have so much respect for one another. Maidov coming in on the left this time. Coming up on 6 minutes of golden score, 10 minutes of play at this point, not including the injury time. Ugh. Maidov just really barely hanging on, and Diaz just with two Shidos. I think Diaz might pick up a second Shido here for not engaging, which puts them both at 2 Shidos. Oh man. This is one match we don't want to see end in a Shido. But Maidov was really coming in, and Diaz was just stepping back and refusing to allow any kind of grip. Yep. Passivity. Oh! Oh! A third Shido for Maidov. Both players penalized for passivity. Oh. And Diaz comforting Maidov and saying thank you for a tremendous, tremendous match. Even though it did not end in a big positive action. That is an incredibly hard-fought match, and both of these men know it. And just have to say thank you and congratulations. So Diaz has unseated the world champion and moves to the next round over Nemanja Maidov from Serbia. Of course, deep disappointment for Maidov after such a heart-rending, heartfelt, total effort. And the tournament goes on. We have Gonzalez from Cuba versus Wang from China. Both players taking a very deep, big sumigaish. Deep sumigaish by Wang. Bringing Gonzalez over for the Wazari, trying to convert it now to Osekomi, but Gonzalez just squirming out, torquing his body so that Wang's not able to convert it. Wang again coming in, keeping the pressure on, not letting up for a second. Wang Zhuyan. No Wazari for Wang. So back to even. Maybe in the replay we'll be able to see why that got waved off.
Thank you.
Grabbing the leg by Gonzalez. And now Gonzalez has a Shido, and very specific Shido. If he grabs the leg a second time, he will be disqualified. Referee getting direction. Shido waved off. Shido instead given to Wang. So now Wang has the Shido for grabbing the leg. And again, if he does it a second time, he'll be disqualified from the match.
There's been some really interesting matches, hasn't
my
there?
gosh,
That last one was a bit of a marathon, but a right call. Definitely a right call there. And like we said earlier on when we saw this young man.
I think they weren't being deliberately passive. They were just exhausted.
Oh, definitely. But I don't think it was down to being passive. There was a few things that was being done. There was at the end of the day, there was one, Majov actually broke the grip and didn't engage. No, you can't do that. It's a Shido on its own.
And so that's why I was expecting the non-engagement call.
There was a couple of points within that there. There was a couple of times that Majov actually was holding his own lapel to avoid the Frenchman coming in and gripping. So there was a couple of infringements there that went unnoticed, and maybe just let it go, because it was an interesting match. There was no doubt about it. It was a brilliant fight. But I think it was the right result at the end.
Oh, Chigari. I got wrong. Oh,
beautifully done.
Gonzalez driving.
So scoring a Wazari. A little bit of a soft Wazari, but
very
nonetheless it gives him that lead. Wong really has to now sort of step it up a little bit now. Has to take a lot more control in this contest.
The next contest is all the
Attempt at Kosota there. Really didn't have much of an impact on him.
Gonzalez, strong right hand grip.
Sinagi.
Wang in for the Sonagi, but doesn't shake Gonzalez at all.
Just wasn't in deep enough, was it, to break the Kazushi?
Ooh, deep Tayatoshi.
That was a good Tayatoshi.
The entry was fine, but he didn't have any hands. Didn't shake Wang at all. But it shows, I think it's, I wonder how much that was demonstration versus execution.
And that's the case in a lot of, especially yesterday when we were watching matches. It's more of the Uchikomi rather than a sort of a Nagikomi.
Yeah. Oh, I keep going back in my mind to that match between Diaz and
it's definitely
just so powerful. One of the highlights of the tournament, even without a throw. Just the potential for a throw is so present throughout the whole thing.
Well, when you think Majov was the gold medalist from last year, so that's taken out the reigning world champion. That is some feat for a youngster of his age, 21 years of age. Amazing.
And Vadashvili losing to triple early on.
Yeah. Well, Gonzalez takes the win, goes through to the third round of the under-90s for Cuba. So that was a very good match, a very solid performance.
Where he will face... Oh, well, we don't know who he'll face yet. Oh, no, we do know. Gonzalez will face Diaz in his next match. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line on my sheet here.
My concern for Diaz is that was a marathon of a contest against Majov, the reigning world champion, and will it take a lot out of him?
Well, it had to. I mean,
I suppose he's young, and he will bounce back.
All of these men are, of course, in superb condition, and they're very, very. They all, I'm sure, have their conditioning and recovery routines down.
Duda Flavia in the white and Randall of Slovak in the blue. Judo. This is his first match, and for Randall, this is the first time we'll be seeing these athletes.
And we're still in the second round here.
Yes, it just seems like this.
It's taken a long time.
It's taken a long time. We will be the last tatami to finish, I think. We've had a couple of marathons in this Pool C and D. It's been very interesting, but definitely some long drawn out
Judo looking
results.
for some newaza, but
circling motion there from Slovak Randall.
ooh, little ashiwaza into Sewanage.
Nice
And he's
combination, beautifully
good.
done.
No Wazari. Looked like he got him, drove him to the side.
He just lost a little bit of control at the latter stage of that, and for Judo,
But Randall picks up Shido.
Randall did well to
Yeah, stop
avoid
that.
being scored on there, but picks up a Shido for his efforts. Needs to start engaging. As you can see, he backs pedals a little bit off towards the edge of the contest area to try and play safe. He
Yeah.
really isn't happy with the gripping style that's going on at this
No,
moment.
he's not.
And he's
Oh,
really
he might
not
get stepping off
having an
there.
opportunity here. Again, another
'Cause
step.
That definitely was a step.
So
because
well, they're not giving it
they're
maybe.
not, but Randall wasn't.
Surprised.
Judo wasn't pushing him.
Yes.
Randall's backing off. You know, he doesn't.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. He's really looking apprehensive. He's such a big man, and he is physically looking so strong out there.
Yeah.
But really, Ochigari, good attack. Doesn't seem to be able to maintain the grip long enough to be
No.
able to make an impact.
No. Something Judo is doing is really keeping Randall off balance.
Osodogari.
Oh!
Ooh. Well,
Judo's turning out of it, trying to convert it to his own throw.
trying to work down in the Iwaza. Well, at that stage, the Osochi looked very vulnerable, didn't
Yeah,
he?
he
It
did.
wasn't.
So it was a good response.
Judo H time, strong controlling grip. He's got the cross grip now. He comes round the back, follows into the niwaza. Now starts to look for the. He's got the shimiwaza in hand. He hooks in with that arm, takes the rotation over to
but
more or less
Randall's
expand the chest to try and get a better entry into for the shimiwaza. But
Randall was just too good at drawing the sleeve down and closing it all up. It was a good attempt, though.
again once more, Judo comes in, first grip on, takes that lapel, swaps it.
Beautiful! Really pretty. Koso Dogari.
That was a nice finish, and for someone that looked in trouble right from the beginning.
All of a sudden.
Never had really
Really-
the control in this contest
No, and then
from
all
the
of a sudden,
start,
yeah. But then he found the moment.
found the Ashiwaza, the Kosoda, and finished it. Obviously just needed that little bit of time to warm up.
Well, I hope he's warm now.
Well, so do I, because he'll be really challenged in his next match. And that will be the winner of the next two coming up.
Really driving down with his chest, just keeping complete control, taking Judo right to his back.
And that face, so thank goodness that one's over.
Duso Yovo from Benin versus Nicolas Mungai from Italy. There's that Mungai.
Yeah, Min Jay. Well, it's
Oh, big flurry of movement right off the bat. Attacking both upper and lower. Coming in for the kumikata, but then
definitely a lively man from Benin. And a good morning to my fellow friends over in Benin. I had the privilege of being over there on the IGF Academy and working with some of their coaches. So This young man, very lively on his feet. There's no doubt about it. Quite strong. Kochigari,
but with no
didn't
hands.
have the grip.
Didn't have a grip.
Needs to calm it down a little bit and be a bit more precise in his attacks. Find himself on the receiving end in the Niwaza.
Oh, and here we
Mungai
have
is
this big upper body, Sankaku, at this weight class. Holy moly. Hey, he's tapping. He's tapping on the other side. There's just so much pressure with that Sankaku. It turns into a Shimiwaza.
a nice execution, a better a different angle for the Sangaku, but very effective. Well, for Doso Yovoi, sadly, it's an exit out of this World Championships. But he gave a good run for himself. He was out there, he was determined to go through, but sadly he was up against a much tougher opponent on the day. Mungai goes through to the next round, where he will be up against Randall.
And he's just squeezing that Sankaku.
Very, very tight.
Very tight.
It's one of these that just, it's like a head being in a vice, isn't it? It just got tighter and tighter.
You can see from this angle in the leg, you can see that hamstring really contracting.
Well, this is an interesting one coming up. Triple and Sasa. Or Casa.
Yeah, Casa. So we saw Triple really surprise everyone by throwing Vanashvili.
What a throw! This is already for the Germans a bit of a hero already, and the Germans they've had a great performance in this World Championship.
Koshiguruma,
beautiful Koshiguruma, and. In
Kasar
fact,
immediately
it was,
coming up.
For me, it looked like an Ippon, that Koshiguruma.
Yeah.
Not quite sure. We can have a look here. Come in deep.
Yeah. Why isn't that an Ippon?
Well, it was Ari they called. Maybe he landed on the hip first and then rotated onto the back, but it was.
We've seen that count before. Oh, nice.
Nice. So 1-2.
Triple coming in with a Koichi and Kasar responding with his own Ashiwaza. Kasar staying in this match despite the fact that
well,
I'm not sure what he thought he was going to do from there.
No, I don't know either, so got to be careful there.
A little overexcited.
That's a high collar grip there, trying to draw his opponent.
Oh, triple!
There was a real upper body control there, but I think there was the Kochigari we saw as he entered, but upper body was just there anyway, even if he didn't get the feet. He had
Kasar
total
came in,
control.
but just didn't have. I think Kasar came in prematurely.
Yeah, and just lost his balance.
Giving Triple the opportunity.
Well, again, another very convincing win that takes him through to the fourth round. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, so into the Sasai, but just beautiful. Yeah, he had dropped his hips. Kasar drops his hips on the Sasai instead of bringing his hips in, and so never compromises Triple at all.
Beautiful counter there.
Yeah, really well done. So Triple showing that it was no accident.
No, he's doing well. He's going through, and he's when we look at that draw, there's some.
Now in the third round, Rodriguez from Portugal versus Van Tien from the Netherlands. And as we saw last time, Van Tien just barely squeaked out of his last match. And we're saying that this would be a very different match with Rodriguez. Van Tien is really shutting down Rodriguez's right hand.
Yeah, he's just closed up shop there, hasn't he?
He's got to do something with it.
He needs exactly.
Okay, in for the Sewanage. Oh! At least it was Ari. Oh, Ippon!
Ippon. It was Ippon Sewanage. Switch the combination. Renzaku Waza to Kochigaki. Beautiful combination of techniques there. Oh, nice.
And Rodriguez really disappointed. And Van Dien really showing a different side to his judo than we saw in his first match. Beautifully done. We'll see a replay.
Well, let's have a look at there. So,
Oh wait, that's the from the previous match.
that was the previous
Football at Qassar.
And here we
we go.
have it.
Sewanage.
Sianagi.
And then just his knee got through,
Yes.
but it was enough to drive in
Hips in deep.
and take Rodriguez for the Ippon.
Well, after a very rocky start for Tot, here he is again in the third round. And he's up against Azerbaijan, which is going to be a very tough match. Not only is he he's competing against the Azerbaijan, but he's also the crowd here as well. Mediev. And already you can hear the volume of this stadium starting
up a little bit.
increase.
Mediev really harrying Tot.
The next round on tatami.
First Judo ready to Tot. Too early to start accumulating them.
Mediev is sort of coming around these odd angles. Oh, and Tot! Oh, use the opportunity to attack him in
My
Newaza.
goodness me, Tot couldn't believe his eyes. He almost had his birthday and his Christmas all in one.
Oh man. Tot being told to go and get a abrasion attended.
And there you see in the crowd, well, they've started to get up their seats. They're getting very excited about this. The prospects of this young man getting through to the final, and every stage he's getting stronger and stronger. Tot, again, once more looks to be struggling slightly in the earlier seconds of this contest. The last match was really difficult for him.
He hasn't quite found his footing.
No, he's definitely...
Mediev is really ringing, or really taking him off balance.
But like what we were saying with the likes of Hashimoto, on a really bad day, he can still get through to the final.
Oh yeah.
So when you're of that quality of an athlete,
Mediev.
but Mediev is all over him. It's like he's just attacking him like a bumblebee. It's just coming all over, and you're trying to swat him away.
Tot's gi is totally compromised. Mediev coming in for the underhook.
Working on the edge of the contest there, but Tot has that Sianagi we know very well.
Oh yeah, and he's so quick and he loves to spin.
Definitely is very fast to react on it. So got to be careful there how much he encroaches onto Tot.
Oh, and looking at coming around. Sewanage.
Well, that's
Mediev shutting it down.
Tot, a poor drop there, poor decision made. And will he pick up a Shido for that? Well,
nope.
No, he's quite lucky there, but definitely looking to have signs of being under pressure.
Yep.
And way he is attacking and approaching this match. The head is down. He's got a good sleeve grip. We know he's got a cracking Sianagi.
Yeah, but Mediev has all the advantage here.
Mediev is really closing up shop.
Oh, in for the Sewanage. A very much more dangerous one.
Now, yeah, because I think Mediev was pushing him towards that edge. He was waiting. He knows he's got the Sianagi, but he was deliberately waiting for the counter.
Yep. And now Mediev being called. So Shido apiece now.
Well, it was a risk he took.
It was.
And it could have paid off because he did put the pressure on. It did actually work to a point, but because he didn't get the final result on it, he had to take the penalty with it.
So Mediev really changing his tactic here.
Those long legs of the Azerbaijan Mediev is causing Tot so many problems. He's overshadowing him all the time. He's straight to the grip first every time. And Tot is really having to, he's got to stop and think now. He's got to compose himself. He's got to think about the next tactics he's got to use, because at this moment he's really on the receiving end rather than actually starting to take any control back. 1 minute and 17 seconds, a Judo apiece, and
Todt just hasn't found his entry point.
No.
He needs to find a way into Mediev's stance. He's got to find a way to get the grip that he needs to launch his own offensive. He's had a couple of individual attacks, but nothing that's just the one Sewanage that's sort of, okay, I think he's looking for that.
Again, puts
Kataguruma.
Todt on the edge of the contest area. He does the Kosota. Wasn't as convincing, but it was an attack.
Oh, Todt picks up a second Judo.
That's it, because it was defending. He didn't even try the Sewanage at that stage.
Let's see what Mediev does. Mediev has to step up too. We haven't seen an attack from him in a minute or so.
Todt needs to start distancing himself a little bit. He's actually playing into the hands of Mediev.
Oh, big
Uchimata.
But he didn't have the other hand. He's got to have that.
He's got to get that space. He's got to create an opening for himself. At the moment, he's closing himself up. He's not allowing his opponent to move, or he's not creating the movement for himself.
And so, you know, one thing that's kind of surprising is that Todt isn't coming around and reaching around the back. Oh, there we go. And getting this hip in, because that's something that he definitely could do to Mediev. Oh,
now there's
dropping, Mediev dropping out.
There's a secret there.
There you go.
The secret weapon. And that's the Achilles heel for Mediev.
And dropping, getting called.
He didn't like
Mediev,
it.
2 Shidos apiece now.
He didn't like it.
Nope. And so, yeah, but because that kind of thing is just not going to work. Oh, and Mediev looks at the ref to make sure, hey, look at that. Okay, good.
That's one chance.
Okay, coming around the back. Let's see if Todt. Okay, well, they're coming up at the end of the match. But that, I think, is going to be a much more effective strategy against Mediev.
I think Todt could come back on this now. I think he realizes that coming around the back,
he got it.
He's got the danger.
Okay.
He knows what's the Achilles heel.
And if he can get Mediev just in position, there we go. That's it. That's what we were looking for.
To work it out, but he eventually got there.
I know what I'm talking about. Awesome. I think it might have had a mind meld going on there.
No, that was definitely a call. It took him a long time to settle in that.
A long time to figure that out. You'd think Todt, you know, with his experience, would have figured that out a lot sooner. But he did figure it out.
He eventually got there, but
he
had us all on the edge of our seats there.
Oh my gosh,
quite
what a
sure
match.
His coach is sort of growing the grey hairs faster than he would hope for.
I grow grey hairs and I'm not even on their team.
Gosh.
Okay. Oh. Okay, Wazari for Todt. That took a long time to I guess they did a video review.
Yes.
And Mediev obviously unhappy.
Mediev is obviously upset about it, but at the end of the day, it was a throw, and it was the only throw
it was very clear.
So far. So you can only go so far tactically. You need to really be able to throw as well. And there was a couple at the beginning. The first, now he's got to be sportsmanlike, and that's it. I know he's
Todt is certainly reaching out to be
I
gracious.
think Todt can
it was a good
understand how he feels, and
so here we get another look at it. Really bringing him up.
Yay.
Oh yeah, that's just clear.
Definitely.
I don't know why that wasn't Ippon.
Yeah.
I mean, Mediev does come back with his elbows, but look at how flat. Look at that.
But you can't do that to stop yourself
right
from
down
going
to his
out.
back. Continuous movement.
Regardless if the hands hit first, if you continue the movement and then eventually goes on his back, it's a score.
Ippon, yeah.
Bracing yourself to stop you from landing on your back first doesn't help anybody. It just causes shoulder injuries, elbow injuries, and wrist.
Bad ukemi.
And that's the reason it's in there.
So something I tell my own students as we watch this is that do not do this ukemi.
Yes.
This is terrible ukemi.
Yeah.
And you're not in the World Championships. Unless you're in the World Championships, just do good ukemi.
Yeah. So here we have representing Poland, Kolowski in the white and Lamanin of Finland in the blue. Now both these athletes have had a good performance in the earlier round, and Kowalski for me, the Niwaza has been superb. He's been very sharp in this transition into ground.
That's what he did in the first match.
Yeah, he was very, very good there. And once more we see Another fine example of how dangerous the man is.
But Labanin able to hold it out, unlike the previous opponent. Able to keep it from execution. Oh, nice! Kozlowski does a really deep pump coming down, really kind of surprising Labanin, and then giving him a chance to come in with an opening for a big Sewanage. Labanin just sprawling out of it. Really fun little entry.
What I like about Kowalski is he's got that sort of lightness on his feet. He's very agile, but when he attacks, it's bang, he's straight in there. He reacts so well. His upper body is very strong. His kumikata is solid, but the rest of his body, he stays very loose and open so he can react from different directions. And it makes him very exciting and very adaptable in the different variations and areas that he can move from.
So he definitely has momentum so far in this match, but we've seen several matches where the partner, the opponent, the player who is from a little bit behind in terms of energy and inertia.
It's like they burn themselves out eventually.
Maybe, and then the other one just suddenly comes out of nowhere. So 2 minutes, 1 second left in the match. Labanin down by Ashido. Kozlowski the one who's really got the edge in attacks and determining how things are going, but he's really slowed down this last minute or so.
Yeah.
Okay, he likes this really torquing movement, and he caught up that one guy's arm. Peters. Or maybe it was Nenartavichus in the first match. Oh, Sewanage!
Oh, beautifully executed.
Nice.
Great score there. Not any. Yep, the Wazari.
So, explain to me why this isn't a Nippon.
Touch of the foot, a break of the balance, or a distraction. I don't think there was much Kazushi on that, but definitely
But he was
a
straight to his
reaction he
back.
got.
Okay, but still, he's on the board. So, Labanin definitely has his work cut out for him. Kozlowski not only has the momentum, but he's got the score. If he does another one like that, it'd certainly be an Ippon.
The way Labanin is reaching forward, he's opening himself up for that Sewanage each time, isn't he?
Yeah, he
looks
really is.
very, very vulnerable there.
That one I'm not so sure about. I think he's just staying in the match. But Labanin's really got to get something going here.
Well, that's it. You're not defending. He's supposed to be really now trying to. He's got nothing to lose. He's 31 seconds, half a minute to go.
Yeah,
You've just got to go about out of hell, really, haven't you, to really go for it. Try and really give everything. And he was a transition.
Kozlowski, burning up some time.
Kalowski is very comfortable down there, and he'll allow those seconds to just tick away. He'll be very happy there.
16 seconds. A little wait. But we've seen it before. We've seen matches end in the other way.
Yes, but I think the way that the impression that we have got from this match, I can't see much of a change now.
It would be kind of a surprise. But I'm happy for surprises.
Oh, yeah. Makes it all
Go
exciting.
Finland.
That's what we love about our sport. You never know until that bell goes. And Kozlowski goes through to the next round, fourth round of the under 90 kilos.
Up next, we'll have Sherazadashvili from Spain versus Igolnikov from Russia.
That's going to be a very tough match indeed, and very different styles of athletes, aren't they? One's very tall-limbed, Uchimata. And
I'm still not clear why this isn't an Ippon. I mean, he hit his knee first, but he's going right to his back.
well, let's have a look. Let's see if we can break it down. He dropped, bang, knee,
But
then
look
over.
at that. It's continuous
It was a
motion, and we've
continuous
seen that
movement.
called for Ippon.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sherazad Dashvili representing Spain, and a very impressive first match with Uchimata. Beautiful judo.
Oh my gosh.
Those long legs, long arms, the
Yeah.
limbs on this man.
but now we
makes
have
him very
two
dense.
long-limbed
But
people. Igolnikov's certainly launching his own Uchimatas.
Igolnikov, very powerful Russian. Definitely likes to be very up close, full contact. Uchimata!
Oh, whoa!
But that up
Ken
close.
Uchimata.
Uh,
Wazari for Sherazadashvili.
The thing is, this is where this could play into the hands of the Spaniard, because the Russian likes to get very close. He comes round the back. He loves the uranagis. He loves that closeness. That falls in to the up high over the
Yeah,
top
you're
Uchimata.
vulnerable.
You fall right into
Which
it.
he should know about, because Igolnikov is not short. Maybe he's just not used to being on the receiving end of it.
Yes, possibly.
He's not usually the shorter player. Oh, nice little Ashiwaza getting Sherazadashvili to stumble. He's definitely still in this match. Igolnikov is not just going to hand it over. See, he's doing his own. He really...
Sherazadashvili!
Oh!
no, he
Did
spun-
Igolnikov take the counter? Did Igolnikov counter it? Did he take a control away from
Oh.
Sherazadashvili?
I don't think it was.
Getting a video review.
Yeah.
Sherazadashvili coming in for a second.
I don't think it was a score for the Spaniard. I think he lost a little bit of
Yeah,
control,
so
but I
does
don't know if the
Igolnikov
Russian
take it away
gets
from him? I don't think so. I don't think so.
No.
So close.
It was a 50-50 there, and if in doubt,
yeah,
you just
yeah.
give out.
Igolnikov landed on his front, so no score. Yeah, so close. Brilliant.
Beautiful judo.
Oh
good
my
aerial
gosh, for
awareness
both of them.
from the Russian, it was brilliant.
You know, it was beautiful Uchimata, and Igolnikov was clearly going for the counter. But the margin of error is so tiny on both sides of that exchange.
But it just shows you that
Razor thin.
the Spaniard with that Uchimata, how dangerous he is
Oh yeah.
for Igolnikov.
But
Coming in that
if he's
the
smart,
head
he's going
down.
to switch it up, because
Yeah.
Igolnikov is definitely looking for that Uchimata Sukash, or whatever we're calling that. And so Igolnikov,
Uchimata.
oh, he's saying, oh, he's baiting him. He's not trying to throw him, he's baiting
No,
him.
he's actually just trying to lure him in, isn't he, to
Yeah.
get a reaction. And I think what he's trying to do is the Uchimata,
Yeah, do your
lure him in
Uchimata again.
so that the Spaniard can bring his head up.
Do it. Come on, you can do it.
Trying
Oh,
to
I
take
bet.
those long legs around the back.
But of course, Sherazadashvili knows that counter too. So Igolnikov is playing a very dangerous game. So I think somebody's going to switch it up. Somebody's going to, you know, the smart thing to do is to switch it up, not just keep doing the same thing, and see which one of us is better at this exchange.
Third round for the women under 70 kilos.
I think Sherazadashvili is most probably the
Puerto
more
see a
clever of
Tayatoshi
the
maybe.
two. I think Igolnikov really is.
They're both really wary.
He's got the big technique, but I don't think he's got as much as the tactical flair that the Spaniard has.
Sherazadashvili is definitely
He's-
sharper. But Igolnikov has got just beautiful, smooth control.
Very similar in styles of gripping, but a drop there, blatant drop. And I think the referee will let that just go in play, but I think he will get penalised afterwards.
We'll see.
At the moment, it's a bit of
But
an
he can afford it.
opportunity for the Russian to do something here, and he's not going to allow the opportunity for the Russian.
Sherazadashvili's got to attack. He's got to keep his end of the... There we go. Tayatoshi.
Follows through into the Niwaza, tries to draw
just
him
not
back in.
quite enough. So, of course, Sherazadashvili's be happy for the clock to, as long as
Yeah.
we're burning up time. He's happy for that. He's ahead by Wazari.
Well, Igolnikov really has to work hard now. He's got just under a half a minute remaining. We have seen someone come back later on, but
Sherzadishvili definitely playing the clock now. He's saying he's playing it safe. And that's dangerous in itself. Playing it safe gives your opponent the initiative.
As the clocks tick away.
Oh, Golnikov is not switching it up. He is just not switching it up. He just did not find a way to get out of the approach that he had taken and established and do something different. Sherzadishvili did come across for that Tayotoshi. That was the last concerted attack we saw. And hangs on to the Wazari.
Yeah. Very clever, but a very experienced judoka. And that's what you come up against when you get scored on at the beginning, is that against such a strong athlete with so much experience, to know how to tactically work his way within those minutes to maintain that lead without, and he did it so well. No shidos for nobody.
And I continue to be impressed by the graciousness and the sportsmanship
It's lovely,
exhibited
isn't it?
here. Even in these really, such a beautiful Ichimata. Just really, really gorgeous. The Golnikov was lucky that wasn't any poem.
Yes.
It barely keeps it from completing all the way this rotation. Look at that extension.
Oh.
God, that's so close.
And it was accelerated by the arm switching and going round the head.
Yeah.
And here we have Max Stewart from Great Britain, and representing Turkey, Ozlu in the blue.
Now we saw Ozerler in his last match. Is not a big dynamic player, but in the end was able to just grind his opponent down and get the advantage against Kaljulaid from Estonia.
Uchimata there. Ozlu, first attack out.
But we also saw that Ozerler's just extremely difficult to compromise. He's got incredibly strong posture, really, really powerful gripping. It's very hard to get him to move so that you can break his balance, get some momentum going. So we'll see if Stewart's able to do it.
Well, Stewart himself has got some good skills. He works really well with his feet, and he's very tall and very long-limbed, so he can be very awkward to compete against. But he looks to be a little bit outpowered at the particular moment against Ozlu of Turkey, who seems to high collar grip, drawing the head down, bringing his height down to an even level playing field.
Both players called for passivity.
And yet, rightly, a good call there from the referee. Yeah. The refereeing has been absolutely fantastic, isn't it?
Yes.
Watching some of these matches and how the referees have interacted within these matches, they're spot on. We see it here, and we're looking and think.
Even if we don't
always
understand it,
and then all of a sudden we're able to pick out afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards.
They're doing it right on the spot.
Right.
Amazing. That's why I'd never be a referee. I couldn't do that. The level, the standard is so high.
So as we've saw in the past, Ozerler isn't big on setting things up. He gets his grip and then he's driving.
Continues to drive.
But Stewart stopping it.
Well, those long legs were able to come in handy and block the continuation of that move.
His legs were handy.
Very, very handy, yes. Feet like another set of hands. Cross grip there for Ozlu. Then works his way from the back to try and take what looks to be trying to control that sleeve. Stewart's trying to desperately come over the top, the high collar grip, as he works his opponent to the edge of the contest area, but falls. That Sutemi was an attempt there from Ozlu that breaks up any threat that he tried to install on his opponent.
On tatami 3, third round for men under 19 kilogram. In the blue for Switzerland, Cyril Grossklaus. And the white for Tajikistan, from Russia,
Stewart walking Ozerler around the mat, trying to get an angle, but Ozerler just, again, is... Oh, a little bit of possibility there for Ashiwaza. Getting Ozerler into the corner.
Stewart looking a little bit vulnerable for the Ashiwazas there. Got to be very careful. He's drawing so much attention on the upper body and controlling the head that he's forgetting that he's leaving his opponent's feet very loose to be able to use the Ashiwazas.
He did get him to stumble it just a moment ago, but he's doing it. It's not following up. Ozerler walking Stewart into a corner. Oh, Chimara! Oh, so trying to do Tomonage maybe, but Ozerler just bringing his hips in far too quickly. Stewart has 2 Shidos. Ozerler has 1. 27 seconds left in the match.
From this angle, it's very clear to see, not very clear to see the grip, but there you have Ozerler coming in with the Seoinage in continuation, the move. Was there a pause on that? Yep, I didn't see that there was much of a pause. Will they call it?
Well, he did. He indicated.
Oh, did he? I didn't see the referee move. And it's not actually on the board.
Yeah, there it goes. Yeah.
So Wazari for Ozerler that goes through. And that when you've got to see it, 13 seconds. The timing is so perfect.
That's a good.
Now,
Stewart's really got his work cut out for him.
Max Stewart has got some nice judo, but whether he's going to get past the really tough defences of Ozerler, I'm not sure.
Ozerler's kind of like a tree.
He is. He's just standing. He's got branches all about. He's solid to the core, isn't he?
He's rooted.
Very rooted to the ground.
Oh.
Hold on, he's still got 13 seconds. Oh,
he's just awarding it.
Hold on a minute. I've still got 13 seconds I can get through here.
A rare little bump for the referee.
Well, he's most probably thinking what we're thinking. 13 seconds, forget it. But I hope not. I'd love to see Stewart come back and have another snap at it, but I don't think so.
Just couldn't compromise Ozerler's posture.
Ozerler, it was a very strong opponent.
And Ozerler.
Ozerler goes through to the next round. He'll be up against a very tough one, and that's the Spaniard.
Sherazadashvili. Continuing the drive to get that Ozari.
Now, a very exciting match coming up. One of my favourites of the day for me, and that's the Frenchman, Disease. And he'll be up against Gonzalez. There's some nice highlights there, just been seen, but this is going to be a fair. Has this Frenchman burnt himself out? But looking at the spring, I don't think so. It looks
I think he's fine.
There. The spring in those feet just, I think, has given us the signal that he's up and ready and raring to go.
So let's see if Gonzalez can surprise us in this match as well as he did in the last one he had. No, I don't think Gonzalez is going to. He's obviously very, very strong, but he's not going to present the physical kind of challenge that Maidov presented in the last match.
No, definitely not.
First of all, he's just not going to come in for the same kinds of things that Maidov did. Both players, I bet, are going to
pick up a Shido. Yes. Well, Gonzalez obviously goes for the grip, but doesn't engage with an attack.
No.
And there you have, this is just not attacking at all. He's just playing a bit of a waiting game here.
But as soon as Diaz gets what he likes, he's going to launch. And
that's it. And that's where he, like, straight off the grip, he throws those big legs in, hooks him with the Ouchigari, and long arm over the top.
It's going to be up to Gonzalez to either slow him down or use what Diaz provides.
Well, he's trying to control that sleeve. That's what he's trying to do, but he hasn't done a very good job at it. That arm comes over the top.
Diaz is just going to shake him up. Yeah.
Well, Gonzalez, I think he'll pick up another Shido if he continues there.
Yeah, he's holding on, and he's not really trying to work something towards something as. But that's what he did last time too. He really surprised us. It's like all of a sudden it was such kind of laconic, and all of a sudden came out of nowhere with a big throw. So styles of judo like that.
Hey, well,
see?
That's rattled his cage, if anything.
Oh
that's
my gosh.
Cianagi. And there's the coach off the chair, got the fright of his life. After seeing that last performance, you would think you're putting him on the podium, wouldn't you? But nope, he's got a long way to go.
You can't take anybody for granted.
Definitely not.
It's like Gonzalez is so Gonzalez is like kind of a spring trap. He's just kind of sitting there, and then all of a sudden, bang. So Diaz has got to get his stuff going too. I mean, he's definitely a lot more mobile, but
well, Diaz tries to throw that arm over the top.
Attacking high, attacking low.
And then hooks in with those big long legs. He's got a good combination from there, but you can see Gonzalez looking to take that sleeve, and he seems to do
so close.
Siatoshi.
But as we've seen, Diaz is just so superb at compromising the action of the throw and keeping it from being a scoring action.
Well, when you look at the actions of the coaches, my goodness, the Frenchman's having an absolute heart attack.
Yeah, this isn't good for anybody's
the Cuban
cardiac.
Coach seems to be a little bit more calmer, but
telling the coach to calm down a little bit. Under a minute to go.
Well, a bit of a frustration here from the Frenchman. He has to step it up again. He knows what he's got. He's got 2 Shidos. One more would be Anso Kamaki. After everything he's done, this is the last thing he needs.
I think Diaz is finding it quite disconcerting how difficult he has, how much difficulty he's having in compromising Gonzalez's position.
Well, again, Gonzalez takes the sleeves. He knows tactically the Ochigari look is frustrating.
He's got both grips. Diaz has actually no grip.
Any attack.
Oh my gosh! And that's happened several times. Diaz is just amazing at, allowing these people to come in so deep and then riding it out.
I can't believe how he doesn't get thrown.
He did that several
really
times
does.
against Maida.
Yeah, definitely. One thing we do know about this Frenchman, he can throw, but he's just not getting that opportunity as yet, and it's frustrating. The more frustration he gets, the less we're seeing of him.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
Golden score. Well, my goodness me, can he get this pulled out? Because at the moment, he really has been on the receiving end of Gonzalez all the way.
And he cannot afford another penalty.
He has to put something in. Now, he plays too much of a waiting game. He gets that arm over. He should hook in with the Ochigari. But he's riding the Cianagis.
Well, let's see what Gonzalez can do. Gonzalez can definitely win this match.
Whoa! Oh, right. Well, I think Shido will go to Gonzalez there.
Why?
Playing a defensive move on the edge there for a little bit too long. There was a couple of attacks there. It's either that or
I think they're just off. I think he just called them because they were off.
I can sort of sense that they'll be. Well, they're not giving anything as yet, but
the French coach, I think, was indicating that Gonzalez ducked his head. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it. No. There. Oh, very close. And then, we've got to keep that pressure on. If he wants to stay in this contest after everything he's done, he really has to start firing on all cylinders. The moment he's just...
Oh, there he goes, and there he goes. Oh.
The combination, yes.
Oh, keep it up.
Well, this is...
Okay, he's definitely put Gonzalez in a bad place. That was like 6 attacks in a space of about 4 seconds.
Well, there's got to be a Shido now for Gonzalez.
You would think, but no.
Someone that puts all that work in, and
when is the last time Gonzalez actually attacked? It's hard to remember.
It's been really good kumikata, but there hasn't been any entry.
About 6 days ago. That's how long this match is going. Oh, Diaz's matches, why do they take so long? See, Diaz is just keeping the pressure on. Oh, but there's a... Oh, Wazzari. Yeah, I think so. Yep, Wazzari for Gonzalez. Diaz was putting just a bit too much movement.
In sadness, I feel that Gonzalez should have been a penalty earlier on. There was so much work done from the Frenchman. Yeah. Too many combinations of attacks that he was just waiting and waiting and waiting. Why would he wait? Because he could afford to wait.
Yeah.
And he was able to pick him off.
And he did.
It was sad.
And he did. Now, he did that was a brilliant counter on Gonzalez's part.
Gonzalez played a really good match there. Really good match.
Very steady, very quiet. Obviously not the flamboyance of Diaz, but in the end, more successful. Wonderful match. Wonderful match. I think we're going to see a lot from Diaz in the future.
Problem is, Diaz is out of the competition. He didn't get to the quarterfinal stage, which is really sad.
Unfortunately. But
there you have
Osoro, and then stepping through for the other Kosoro.
Kosoto, nice attack.
Yeah,
definitely
really
a lovely combination of attack. But there was so much desperate movement, but Diaz really should have done that in the earlier 2 minutes of the contest. If he had fought like that, the way he did in the golden score, he would have won it straight away.
So something that, clearly Diaz can throw, and he did that early right away against Zachary Burt from Canada. But one thing that these last two matches have shown is that having stability, having excellent posture, having a really, really good stance, and being able to slow things down and calm things down, and really has its virtues.
Yes.
And as much as we love to see the movement that Diaz was bringing to the match, that isn't always going to win you.
A little bit of the Hashimoto of the world, isn't it? That waiting game and things like this. But quite an interesting match it was. But was there a little bit of complacency? He just beat the world champion, and
I didn't see any complacency. Maybe
at the beginning and the earliest stage, he just maybe underestimated him slightly. And when it came out, he just thought, "Do you know what? This guy's really good. I might have beaten the world champion, but this one."
I know that. Okay, yeah.
So it might have been a little bit what didn't switch him on. He was up for the world champion. He knew he was going to have a battle. And then he had a long, long match. It was a little bit tiring. He got the result. And was there a little bit of mental complacency?
I know that that's a really good point, because I know going to this, I was 100% behind Diaz myself, just because of the extraordinary effort and, just exchange that was going on between him and Maidov in those. There was just unbelievable tension in the way that they were tying up, and so I got pulled into all that too. And going into this match, I was emotionally quite ready.
Yes.
For him to display the same kind of effectiveness against an opponent who's not as dynamic as Maidov. Or as much of an overt threat as Maidov. And yet, what we found is that Gonzalez beat Diaz where Maidov couldn't.
Yes.
In his quieter...
Tomonage.
Beautiful Tomonage.
Done. Mungai.
In his quieter, much more low-key approach.
Yeah. Well, Mungai here is making his mark on this match. Third round to take a place in the next round in the quarterfinal. Well, it won't be the quarterfinal, I should say. We're still a little bit way off.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting.
We're still in the third round.
Keep thinking there's two. There's two pages to this, not one. And so he'll be up against Gonzalez, and he'll be watching quite closely this match. But Mungai already started well. Looks to be dominating this match in a very favourable way. With strong kumikata. Tomonagi we saw earlier on. Another Sutemi Waza, not so clear as being the Tomonagi, but
he never straightened his leg out.
Still got a good movement there and controlled it well.
Kosoro.
Again, a nice attack. Comes back well, but not deep enough to get a score. High collar grip. Draws his opponent Mungai off to the edge of the contest area. Tomonagi.
Mungai really likes that.
Well, favours the Sutemiwazas, doesn't he? So,
well, if somebody's driving you, it's a good option.
And he looks quite a powerful athlete, this Randall, doesn't he?
Mungai definitely light on his feet. That's dangerous, though.
Ducking under
somebody
there.
could do Ashiwaza.
Yeah.
Somebody who's good at Ashiwaza. The Japanese that would be a dangerous thing to do against the Japanese.
Oh, Ouchigari, beautifully done there. Nice combination.
Because when you bounce, you take your own weight up. You're losing contact with the ground.
That's the one thing you would
from
never do
Mungai.
is bounce on the, like you say, the Japanese. They would just, that would be like giving them a big Christmas present.
They'll take it right out.
And I know that from experience.
Oh yeah, and I know I love doing that too. So so.
I think most competitors have always, or anyone that's actually competed or trained with the Japanese, I think they've all had that experience. They've been on the receiving end of Ashiwazas. Well, this round has gone very quick. We're in now to the golden score. Oh, we are not
mentally
into the golden
recovering
score.
from the previous
Mungai
match.
takes the win and he goes into the next round.
That's right.
It's funny how we watch and we're anticipating golden score, aren't we? Because they've been some real tough matches.
They got that score right at the end, last few
seconds.
seconds.
But he got that right at the end.
Mungai through to round 4
against Gonzalez of Cuba. So we're heading back up to the top end on Pool C.
Really pretty. Let's see, he finally got it. Tomonagi. Yoko Tomonagi. Just didn't quite get around enough for the Ippon.
So now we venture up to the top end again into Pool C. We have triple of Germany in the white and Van Tien of the Netherlands in the blue. Someone that's been really firing on all cylinders and really up for this competition is Tripel. Van Tien has had some really strong performances. He is a very powerful judoka that takes time to build up in the contest. But for me,
definitely has the more decisive judo.
Definitely a better technician.
And he's Van Tien seems. Oh well, there we go. That's something I don't think we've quite seen from Van Tien before.
That was a nice
Tewaza. He's just bringing his hands all the way through from the outside. I mean, that wasn't a sore tsurikomigoshi at all.
No, it wasn't. He didn't get in. He just allowed the Tewaza of the arms to take control there.
That would have been gorgeous. And a big sumigaishi.
Whoa!
Oh, into Newaza. Triple Van Tien not allowing that to stay. I think Van Tien is bringing a different game to this match than he did in his previous matches.
He's definitely out for this, isn't he?
Ouchigari for the Ippon. What an Ouchigari, so deep.
Fantastic.
Just snake that leg in there.
Oh!
Man, that was smooth.
That was a nice movement.
That was the cobra of Ouchigari's, smooth and quick. And Van Tien doesn't believe it. He's not.
All right, gutted. Well, he came out with the right frame of mind, Van Tien.
He did.
Wanted it so much.
But
he gave a good account of himself. But once again, Tripel with beautiful judo, a nice flair. He came for the Tomonagi. It was countered with the Ouchigari.
Man,
well, you don't see that
and it's super slow-mo like this. I mean, it looks so simple, but
doesn't it? It does. It
play it
looks
at full
very
speed
easy.
again.
Not an easy thing to do.
Oh
is
my
it?
gosh, that was good. Van Tien thought that he was coming in for that Tomonagi, and that's why he didn't think it was a score.
The thing is, when you think of the dynamics of that Ouchigari, when someone's got their foot in your groin for a Tomonagi. You're getting lifted high. So to actually take one foot to then turn in for the Ojigari, that's gutsy.
And to do it in the time that it took for Vantian to raise his leg, in that split second, triple was in.
A nice
That was amazing timing.
So Tot of Hungary, Kowalski of Poland in the blue, Tot in white. Now for the Hungarians, they are desperately looking to get on to that medal table. And this is the man they're hoping that's going to do it for them.
But Tot is a tall order,
he's
so to speak.
built like a tank. And he's very powerful in this match. He's come over for the first time. He looks like he's evenly matched in height now. He's had two tall opponents.
These guys look like twins.
Yeah. Sianagi there, but we know Kowalski has got superb niwaza as well. Very dangerous down in the ground.
He's already
and as
submitted
you see,
one guy.
He's ready there on the pounce as Tot goes down.
Oh, nice. Blended technique by Tot. Maki Komi and Kouchigari. But Kozlowski immediately responding. Trying to get some newaza going here. Looking, I think, for Jijigatame. Or no, Shimewaza. But Tot has just got too close to grip on everything. So we saw. Just thinking about how we saw how long it took Tot to figure out how to deal with Clavosau last time, figuring out his height and coming in with a different attack that was eventually very effective.
He seems to have had two really tall athletes he's had to deal with so differently. Now he's got someone that's a little bit more of his eye level, and he's now having to readapt his judo with what he's had to do for the past. Well, he's gone to golden score. He's gone to full time, really. So it's been.
And these guys have similar play as well.
Yeah, very similar in it.
So
ability. Both closing up very deep in the kumikata, both looking for an uchimata, both have a sianagi as well. So it's literally a bit of a who's going to make the first move? Who's going to really be gutsy enough to then sianagi? Well, that's Kowalski just for me is...
He wasn't going to do anything with that.
No. But he's actually made the initial move to say, I'm going to try and take control first. You're not going to move? Well, let's see if I can get in there first. A battle.
Oh, Tot in over the back. Oh, but Kozlowski coming down. Kozlowski picked up a Shido. A little surprised he didn't pick up another one there. Tot really bringing Kozlowski in. We know that Tot loves these spinning entries.
I
don't know if he has the space to do it on Kozlowski. I think Kozlowski might have a bit of a height advantage.
Yeah, it's slight.
But it's not like it was in the other match.
No,
yeah, he's definitely a little taller.
Not as overpowering as we saw in previous. Oh, well, there was a bit of a height being lifted there. He had him on the top of his toenails, not the top of his toes.
Yeah, we've seen that several times in this category.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah. DS was riding that out.
I'm amazed how they're able to ride them. I really am.
Oh, Kozlowski coming in with a spinning entry, the same that Tot was doing in his first match.
Well, Kowalski really has to stay engaged, as we can see. He's got two Shidos on the board. He can't afford to make any mistakes, can't afford to really sit back and wait anymore. It has to be all or nothing.
Both players really like this close-in, head-to-head wrestling kind of engagement. Tot doing some ashiwaza, but
we're now going into golden score, but not looking good for Kowalski, who's got two Shidos.
Tote in for the Sewanage.
Oh,
Kozlowski
yes! Well,
coming in for... Oh, but you have to be careful.
Yeah, because the leg was coming round the back
Yeah.
as if it was Koichi, but he wasn't really executing it. He was reacting more than anything else.
Yeah. So no score. Both players working up to their attack.
Tayatoshi continues the drive.
But Kozlowski keeping it from turning. Telling them to fix their geese. Let's see what happens here. Wazari for Tote.
Oh, so they thought it was a continuation there.
I guess. Okay.
Very interesting. Well, we'll look forward to seeing the replay on that. And
Crowd very unhappy about something on mat 2. Okay. Guess we didn't get to see the replay. Here we have Sheravadashvili from Spain versus Ozerler from Turkey.
Dear spectators, we have 5 minutes break on tatami 2.
standing the big, tall, long-limbed Uchimata. Will we get to see that again?
Yeah, and let's see if Sheravadashvili can compromise Ozerler's hitherto uncompromisable posture. There we go, break him down a little bit.
Sheravadashvili there, as you can see, with that right arm coming round the back. No, he's got the Uchimata.
Oh, God, see, that's the first time we've seen Ozerler up on 1 foot. Or will Ozerler be able to take something Sheravadashvili brings and convert it? Both players being very tentative about getting a grip.
If that throws that long arm over the top, that's where the danger is. He's got the sleeve as well. He's just.
Oh, but Ozerler coming in for Sumigaishi.
Yep.
Rather
I think
anemic.
that was a bit more of a ploy to get out of trouble of that. Yeah, I think he could sense that Uchimata was there and
I better do something first.
better get out of the way here. Get myself
and
down.
gets a false attack.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't real.
Well, you could just sense it, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
And would you blame him?
No.
No.
No. It's
rather
better to
take
get
a
the
Shido
Shido than
than
Nippon. Right.
Great minds think alike.
All three of us were in sync.
Yeah.
Oh.
High collar grip again,
Sure,
right down
sure.
onto the belt this time.
Yeah.
The hips are coming through, the Uchimata's there. Oh, Oslo just again will rather take than the Ippon.
So I think we know what
Shido.
Sheravadashvili wants. Let's see if he can get it.
Oh,
He keeps walking him into the back corner.
oh, Chigari.
Nice
yes!
switch. Oh, beautiful change in
Beautifully
direction.
change.
From the Uchimata to the Kosotogari. And he succeeds in compromising Ozerler's posture.
On tatami 3, the third round for women under 70 kilogram. In blue for Spain, Sarah Rodriguez. And in white for Japan, Ono Yoko.
And Nicolas Sherazadashvili will advance to the quarterfinals.
And
Really nice Uchimata to Kochigari.
look at that.
Or Tsurugoshi rather, to Kochigari, and then just keeps driving him through.
Beautiful Ochigari there. Nicely executed. And now Gonzalez and Mungai of Italy. So the man that...
And that transition was just so quick from that Tsurugoshi to the Ouchi.
It was very agile, wasn't it? Very open, but he leaves himself. He gives himself so much room, doesn't he, to be able to execute from Uchimata to the Oichigaris to the Kosotas. Those hips move, but there's really good control without being so negative in the Kumikata, blocking himself.
Okay, Gonzalez picking up the first Judo.
Yeah.
So that's another. So it just occurred to me that Gonzalez's approach is not typical of what you see from Cuban players. He's much less forceful.
Yes, and much less aggressive in his approach.
He's so
And
quiet.
that's it. He comes in, he grips up. Where the majority time of the Cubans, they tend to be very fast and aggressive with their kumikata and their attacking. It's one after another. It's a doubling up all the time.
So
it's not waiting games.
No.
He does the complete opposite, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He gets the grip, he holds on, in some cases too long, but he bides his time.
Yeah.
On the mat 2, we start the quarterfinals.
2.5 minutes remaining in this contest, the fourth round, a place in the quarterfinals. A very crucial match for either one of them. It's either end of the tournament for them, or it's a placing in the top 7.
Mungai. So we've seen this before in previous matches where Gonzalez. Okay, now he's picked up the second Judo. Now that did not occur in the earlier matches. So his strategy might not play off if he doesn't...
Doesn't look like he's going to play off in this game, is it, really? The last time it did.
Okay, there's a little Ochigari.
But he's piled a lot of pressure. Halfway to go, 2 Shidos down. It's a long way.
There we go.
Nice drop.
He can do a big entry on his own without...
Well, it was a nice Sianagi, and he moved in very well.
Yep.
One of the best attacks so far.
He actually over-rotated.
Yes.
He came out the other side. It's almost like, I don't want that Seiwanage. I want another Seiwanage.
Yeah. Or you would have thought in that sort of way that he would be looking for the Niwaza.
And that's the Seiwanage I wanted.
That's the one that's deep enough.
Or was it Tsurikomigoshi? I can't. Did he come in on the inside or did he come in from the outside? It's definitely that Seiwanage finish.
Well, Mungai really is a little bit apprehensive with that Sianagi's like, now, so he's battling out.
He can attack me too.
He's not really engaging too close.
Yeah, and Mungai is really...
Chigari.
Yeah, no, so that's 3 attacks.
Yeah.
So if Gonzalez gets another one,
well,
Mungai's going to be in trouble. And
Mungai really is in a good, fortunate position that he's got no Shidos and his opponent's got 2. You would have thought a few attacks and ruffling a bit of feathers and putting them onto the air.
Okay, there we go.
Tomonagi, nice.
Wow.
Oh, and again.
Yeah.
And he's still not letting him up.
Okay.
Until the referee is going to call it.
Let's do some handstands.
Well,
this is the gymnastics arena here in Baku.
It
is. It's the gymnastics arena.
But Well, Mongai, I'm a little bit surprised that Mongai really hasn't gone for the tactical move in this contest in the last stages. He's had a great opportunity for such a long time, almost 2 minutes, and we've not seen any tactics towards trying to play those shidos.
No, I don't think so. I think Gonzalez really shook him up with those attacks, and he was just kind of playing catch-up for a minute.
Tomonagi.
Oh, man.
I think he is
very
definitely
powerful.
Favours the Tomonagi, doesn't he? We've seen quite a few of them now, but he's been successful, but at the latter stage. But there's that Seoinage again, and Mongai blocks it nicely, anticipated that well. Catches the sleeve.
I actually thought I saw an Osoto coming around. Yeah, that leg was like cutting around.
Hovering about.
We won't get to see that on replay, but of course, once this is online, you're perfectly invited to look at a lot of these attacks. So many of these things. I mean, the big throws are all going to make the highlight film. So, Shido for Mongai, which is great, but there have been so many wonderful, incredible attacks that, bear really close examination. Very rich. It's been an incredibly rich tournament.
For coaches looking at it, it's been it's an education tool, isn't it? Because there's been so many high points and teaching methods to be learned from here, and variations of skills, combinations, counters that we've seen. And what is so apparent is that a winning coaching.
See, like that.
Nice.
Seoinage to Kouchigari, unbelievably tight.
That was a drop down, and he was so agile, because a lot of the time to be that close to hook in would leave yourself vulnerable to the back for a counter.
Now, if Gonzalez had just a little bit more, he clearly was able to stop it. But what if he? Oh, there we go. That's it. That's the Wazari. Oh man, what a finish! What a finish! Oh, it looks like Gonzalez might have pulled something in his leg.
Oh, well, he really had to overstretch himself on that.
Yeah, I think he really pulled something on his inner quad. Sort of a Pyrrhic victory. So, incredibly rich tournament. So, Gonzalez through to the quarterfinals.
Dear spectators, we have 5 minutes break on the
5-minute break on Mat 1, where we'll have 2 more matches.
And it'll be very exciting ones indeed. Triple, we're taught Germany versus Hungary. And then we have Spain versus Cuba. So, Shehzadashvili representing Spain, and we'll have Gonzalez that we've just seen in there in our highlight from that last match.
So let's see how
takes himself through.
I really wonder
Taitoshi
how
into the Makikomi.
I don't see anything that really would have compromised his leg, and yet he clearly pulled something.
Let's have a look.
I'm just not seeing. This one. That's his left leg.
Yes.
He was really, really far extended in front. Yeah. And it is his left inner quad. Maybe his hamstring. Well, hopefully he will be fit and ready to go.
I'm quite sure he will,
and not compromised by that, because he will need everything he's got against Shehzadashvili.
Yep. Well, the first one coming up will be Triple and Tot, but that's going to be a really tough one. Based on performances, for me, Triple technically is so far in front is untrue, and I think he's got the opportunity to go through into that final. But Tot, he's a powerhouse, isn't he? And it's like the power versus the skill.
Yeah,
the endurance,
versatility and the agility. I would say agility because Tot is clearly highly skilled. It's just that his skills are
but his skills are limited.
They're very different from
and they're very limited.
Triple's.
Where Triple has
Triple
got
is a more agile
wider-
player. We've seen him switch things up where it took Tot forever to figure out how to meet Medvedev or Klavesau earlier on. Or Kozlowski. I'm sorry, Kozlowski. No. Medvedev. Yeah, Medvedev. That height, and it just took forever for him to figure out how to get around Medvedev's reach. Whereas Triple is obviously very, very adept at reading his particular opponent and finding the weak spots and capitalizing on them very, very quickly. So it'll be interesting to see if he'll be able to do the same thing to Tot.
And it'd be interesting, and looking just at the draw on the other side, which we haven't managed to be able to follow because we've been so engrossed in this C and D. But on A and B, we've got Silva Morales from Cuba, who's in the top part. He's come through in A, and he'll be up against Nagasawa of Japan, and then down in Pool B, Clerget of France, and Kalmuzaev of Russia. So that's going to be interesting. And Ustopurion, they're from, and Zilka. So there's some really, that was a tough half.
This is a tough weight class. This is an incredibly, and this is my favorite weight class actually because it's closest to the one I used to play myself. But I find that here you've got the perfect balance between power and speed.
Oh yes, there's been a lot of variety from both,
and you could see it here. I mean, these techniques have not been slow. They might take a little while to build up, but all of a sudden, as we've seen, like with Rodriguez, his explosiveness, just the tripwire explosiveness that these athletes have is just extraordinary.
So there's also been a lot of excitement through in the other weight categories that are still ongoing.
So in our two quarterfinals, we really do have fascinating matches coming up just because of the disparity in how they play, the differences in how they play. We've already talked about Triple and Tot, but Sherazadashvili and Gonzalez, again, two totally different approaches to play.
Yes.
Sherazadashvili with his length and his dynamicism, and Gonzalez with his very quiet but very dangerous, ready to respond posture and attack. But he's got an ability to come in and start driving when he wants to.
For me, you're totally right. I totally agree with what you were saying. And looking at these four athletes, the ones that have really right at the forefront of my mind is obviously Triple because of his performances, and also Sherazadashvili because they've been entertaining. The skills have been just phenomenal, and the wide range of technical ability that they, for me, seem to be the strongest candidates of being into that semi-final. But we have seen so many upsets along the way that we cannot predict that.
Gonzalez pretty much came out of nowhere.
Of styles.
Right.
And you see the players that have gone out and the quality of them, like the world champion, for instance. You can't really, until they're actually in that position, you can't predict.
No.
Because we've seen so many different things.
Okay, and here we have
change.
Triple and Tot.
Triple and Tot, as we were talking about. Now, this is a very tough match.
So will Triple find Tot's weak spot? Will he be able to solve this puzzle?
Shinaki, whoa, over he goes. Tot. Now, Triple, right from the beginning, has exploded into this World Championships and has been very
and shown
convincing.
that he is no fluke.
No.
He is no fluke like
He's
we kind of had yesterday.
all the way through.
Yeah.
Tot has progressively got stronger and stronger and showed the quality of player that he is. And for someone, obviously, you cannot write him out. This is someone who got a 5th place. He got a 5th place in the World Championships. He was just knocking on the door then.
Coming in
Tot.
for the shimiwaza.
But the shimiwaza.
Has he got it? Has he got it? No, it's over the chin.
No. Have you seen the size of Tot's neck? It'd be very difficult.
So that was an amazing little exchange there. Tot coming in with that hugely powerful dynamic spin that he got, and Triple stopped him cold and then turned it around the other way. So Triple has got, tremendous power at his command that just isn't quite as visible as what we see in Tot, with that incredibly compact frame that he's got.
And exactly, well said. Compact frame is what he has.
Oh, nice. But Tot is so dangerous in how quickly he can change directions. But Triple is just, again, he's so versatile and agile in his responses. And we know that he's incredibly dangerous with his attacks. So
Triple's Niwas is really good. And we know that Tot does make some silly errors. And he nearly was out on the first round when he was up against Baboyev in the early round from Kazakhstan with that shimiwaza. Do you know what I mean? That was there.
Yeah.
He left himself very vulnerable there. But
Winner on the number 2 in blue Jubilee representing Japan.
Okay, so here we come in. Oh, Tot in for
Chigari,
the-
nice attack.
Oh, Sewanage! Oh, but
continuing to pull
Triple able to brace out of it. Tot trying to convert to. I don't think
he
it's
tried
going
to get
anywhere.
a sort of a spin on it
almost like
with into the Osakami, but he only had the arm from the elbow down.
Tot reminds me of nature films I've seen of crocodiles that grab you and then spin around in the water until things come off.
Oh, Chigari.
Triple struggling a little bit to open Tot up.
He's not getting his own way in this match.
No,
There's
he's
no
not.
doubt about it.
Tot is a very tough cookie.
The next quarterfinal for men under 90 kilos. Tatami 2.
Nice little Kochi. Tot is definitely showing, I think, a virtuosity in his technique that we hadn't seen in some of the earlier matches. Triple being called for passivity. Good call. I can certainly see that. Tot definitely has the edge in attacks right now.
Still looks a little bit apprehensive, obviously, and keeps himself safe from the issue. But we saw that spin once. He's done that quite a few times.
And again, Triple stopped it cold.
Yeah, but it's never really been effective.
It's never been effective. Yeah, it hasn't really done anything.
It's gutsy, and it's dangerous.
It's got to be unnerving.
Well, it's sort of all of a sudden you're seeing the face,
look,
next
we're getting,
thing you look in the back.
Thought we might see that Sankaku. Oh, here we got a shimiwaza.
Triple looking to punish him down there. Don't think it's under the chin there at this moment.
No, I don't think so either. I'm not sure that Tot actually has a neck.
No, I don't think it has. It's going to be very difficult for a shimiwaza.
I mean, you can see Triple's neck. Show me where Tot has a neck, actually. I think his shoulders just sort of
it's all
continue
shoulders
to his
and
head.
chin. He's got this real desperate down chin.
Both players doing exactly the same attack. This sort of whirling
like
dervish
one
Sewanage thing.
Just keeping the referee happy, pacifying him.
And letting the other player know it's like, you're not getting away with that.
Well, coming down to the final seconds before we go into golden score.
And and as you see, I mean, you get players and they sort of agree. Okay, let's not do something stupid in the last 2 seconds.
Golden score, Tatami 1.
Okay, 6 into golden score. And we'll see. Triple has not put away Tot the way he did his earlier opponents. So he's definitely into unfamiliar territory in terms of time. But conditioning does not seem to be an issue at this point. Both players seem to be still quite with lots of energy to burn. Oh! Toad in for the big lift, and Triple really coming close to compromising it and turning it into a counter. Really taking control away from Toad, even though he was in the air. Oh, Triple going in for the... he might get called for a false attack at this point. Oh no, okay, I guess it was convincing enough Sumigaishi that Toad trying to do this spinning Sewanage, but Triple easily riding it out. Okay, into this next exchange. Toad! Triple in for a Makikomi. But Toad sprawling, stopping the winding action. Just was not able to bring him around at all. It's one thing it's so hard to get Toad really moving. Toad coming in with his own really deep Sewanage, but Triple easily sprawling out, compromising the action. Another one of these incredible pressure cooker matches, but I think the first player who's gonna Toad coming in for Konsetsu Waza. I think the first player to make a mistake is gonna end up flying. Triple in for the Ouchi. Toad for Tomonage. Both players are at a point where they're able to get the entries and just bring their players in, their opponents in, but not able to get into that critical tipping point. Both players their reactions are just too good. So the mistake may be, somebody comes in for their reaction for the throw, and the other player just doesn't have the reaction. Both players still attacking. Starting to show some signs of fatigue now, coming up on 2 minutes of golden score. Looking up, is that our gong? I think he forgot which part of the match he was in. Oh! Kochi! Triple. Just able to spin out of it. Wow, that was sharp. Little bit close to that accident, or that mistake where Triple just allowed that bit of an opening. And Toad just looks sharper at this point. Triple, I think, has given this an amazing match, but Toad still looks like he's got the edge in endurance. His attacks certainly are much more concerted and much more dangerous than Triple's are. Triple has continued to come in, but he's just not compromising Toad the way he was earlier. Let's see if he can dig down deep, find what he needs. Or will Triple... Okay, Toad again in for a big Sewanage. The endurance quality of this tournament is definitely showing. Triple being called for his second Shido, because Toad has had all the attacks in the last minute or so. Oh, that was a mistake. Triple in with a very anemic Sumigaishi. I wouldn't be at all surprised. But they're going to give it to him. They're going to say, okay, that was enough of an effort. Toad in for Sewanage. Very big, powerful Sewanage. Triple, but Triple is so long that Toad is spinning so hard, he's not quite getting into the right position to elevate Triple and get his feet to loose. There we go. Oh, that was the right place to be, but Triple is able to break the grip and just step over, start threatening. Konsetsuwaza, so Tote brought his arm right down. Tote now getting up a little slower. 3.5 minutes of golden score. Triple coming in on Tote. But Tote still showing amazing explosiveness in this spinning attack that so far has not thrown anybody. But at this point, it may just be about drawing the Shido on your opponent. Triple is in a very bad place in that regard. And Tote in again for another Sewanage and driving Triple over. Will that be enough? I thought I saw him come up on his hips, not on his back at all. But even so, Tote has just sustained the pace and the intensity and severity of attacks. See, we'll come through here. Oh, that's so close. I don't think that's a Wazari. But it is so close. See, he just sits up, so his back doesn't touch. But I'm not a referee, and I'm often wrong, so let's see how this goes. Yeah, so instead of a score, Triple is penalized, which is a very, very... And Tote showing just tremendous graciousness in victory, congratulating the effort and valor of his opponent. Tote has shown just the true spirit of judo in how he plays and how he comports himself in victory. Okay, so Tote will advance to the semifinals.
The winner on tatami.
And now we have Sherazadashvili, the Spaniard, against Gonzalez from Cuba. Gonzalez, who seems to be walking quite well, no trace of a limp. That's good to see. Now Sherazadashvili has been coming in. He likes that strong right hand coming in over the top. He definitely has the height advantage that he could do that against Gonzalez. He likes coming in and compromising them on that side and then just continually pursuing that attack until he gets it. Gonzalez, as we've seen, is extremely good at reading what people do and then using what they're doing. He's got this quiet approach that's a big mistake. Big mistake by Gonzalez. Even if he didn't get thrown right there with the Uchimata, he would have been called for Shido on a false attack. That was just a huge error. He's so lucky that wasn't a full ippon. Beautiful, beautiful response and presence of mind by Sherazadashvili. On the board for the Wazari in the first minute of the contest.
Well, a quarter-final place, a semi-final at stake here, and Sherazadashvili taking this first score, Wazari, and a comfortable lead. That high collar right over the back there, that right hand goes in very deep. The defense there from Gonzalez as he comes, he can sense the feeling of that Uchimata coming. You could just see he's blocking, a switch of direction there, knocks Gonzalez off his feet, and he just manages to control himself.
So the one thing I wanted to see from Gonzalez in this match is, will he allow Sherazadashvili to get that grip that he really loves so much and executes so well, or will Gonzalez force him into a different game? And so far that the answer has been no. He has not found a way to get Sherazadashvili to play a different, take a different tack. And that's part of the, Gonzalez, I really admire Gonzalez's judo, but because it's quiet, it allows the other player to take the initiative. I think the only way Gonzalez is going to win this match is if he takes the initiative himself and changes his game. In order to beat Sherazadashvili, Gonzalez has to change his game. He is not going to beat Sherazadashvili by allowing him to get what he wants so much.
I definitely, I would totally agree on what you're saying there. Sherazadashvili with 1 minute and 44 seconds remaining in the clock has got a Wazari on the board. He's so close. He could also almost smell that semi-final position. He's been absolutely outstanding throughout the day, and he's very. But the Uchimata's the well, someone
and he changed it up.
Cianagi changed it over. There it is. Took.
And I love this.
And a Ippon.
I love
sportsmanship as he helps
this
him back
sportsmanship.
up.
They have been so good to each other, all of these men today. Just terrific judo, terrific sportsmanship. Terrific judo in every sense of the word of judo. So, Sherazadashvili. Yes.
So Sherazadashvili goes into the semi-final where he'll be up against Tot a little bit later on in the final block, which is at 4 o'clock. For us, it's been an absolute delight to watch the progression of these athletes come to this point. There's going to be some very interesting matches coming up a little bit later on, and there's some highlights of that last quarter-final. And again, some superb
this
judo
Sore Tsurikomigoshi,
skills.
which constantly fools me. I keep thinking it's Sewanage when it first happens.
So all I can say is thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. So from myself, Loretta Cusack-Doyle, and
Gene Shin.
thank you, and we'll look forward to you coming in back at 4 o'clock to watch the final block of both the under 90s and the 70 kilo women.
Thank you.